What is up, guys? Welcome back to Drums and Drams. We got another Thursday night live stream for you, and tonight is going to be a special live stream. It's part one of two parts that I'm planning for. Hopefully we don't need a third part, but we're going to kind of see how this all goes together. But I thought I would start this process on a live stream like this on the normal, Thursday night live, which at this point I'm doing these every like 2 or 3 weeks. I try not to stream every week just to be careful with consumption and all that kind of stuff. But basically today we are going to start the process, and we're going to finish that process on Sunday of determining my 2025 Whiskey of the Year list. Essentially what I'm going to be doing is whittling 31, basically 32, we'll talk about it in just a second, but let's just call it 31 whiskeys we're going to be whittling down to a top 20, and then we're going to order those 20. We're going to do this over 2 streams. So tonight, yeah, lots of glasses, someone said in the chat. 100%. So tonight, I have all 31 here. I still need to pour some of them out. So while I wait on some more folks to get in here, people to get things poured, we are starting a little early this evening. While we're waiting on that, I'm going to get the final samples poured out. I'll kind of talk you through the process of all this kind of stuff, and then we'll get going. But essentially tonight, we're going to eliminate the bottom 11. So I have 31 in front of me. We're going to eliminate the bottom 11. I'll go over all this again probably in about 10 minutes when we really get into it and more folks are here. And then once I have kind of my idea of what's not going to make it to the second part on Sunday, which is going to be the top 20, I'm also going to have some ideas. I'm going to take some rough notes as far as what I really, really like, what might be more middle of the pack stuff. And then on Sunday, we're going to order that top 20 through 1, and that's going to determine the actual list. And so Sunday's stream could take a long time. Tonight, I think it's going to be a little easier to just go ahead and wipe out 11 of these and get them out of here. But I think the actual challenging part's going to be on Sunday. NFL's on Sunday. There's 2 playoff games. I'm going to have to stream over top of those. It is what it is. You can tune in, tune out, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So while we get some folks in here, I'm going to get my palate warmed up. I had my customary meal before this stream. Tacos, flossed. I don't brush, but I floss because I eat kind of like bland tacos. So everything feels good as far as palate-wise, but I'm going to have a little Eagle Rare 12 to warm up, get the rest of these labeled, and then again, I'll talk you through the exact process before we get started on this. And tonight's stream, the reason I'm starting an hour and a half early, or 80 minutes early. The reason I'm starting early tonight is because this is probably going to take a little bit. You're going to get full thoughts from me on all of these whiskeys, or not. You're going to get thoughts on all of them. They're not going to be full thoughts. They're going to be pretty quick bulleted thoughts. And then the actual answer key is in the description of the video. So as I call out a number that I'm tasting, or it's an alphanumeric 4-digit code, as I call these out, I don't know what they are. You guys are going to be able to look in the description of the video and say, hey, he's talking mad shit right now about Michter's 20. And that'll be hopefully fun for you, but I don't want you to spoil it for me, so don't put any of that in the chat, please. All right, so cheers. Little Eagle Rare 12 to get things going here. I'm going to be spitting a lot tonight in the beginning. Might start sipping a little bit towards the end if there are some hard decisions to make. I'm hopeful that this is going to be a little bit of an easier thing, again, as far as eliminating bottles. So as people get in here, hit that like button if you don't mind. I have more than a few of these still to pour out, and I hate to do this live on stream, but it kind of is what it is. Sarah and I have been working together on this. Like, she helps me put all these samples together and stuff, and the way that we're doing it, and it still took us quite a bit of time before this stream started to make this happen, so please bear with me. But I would love to know from you guys, like, while I'm getting this done, while some folks are getting in here, what are some of your top whiskeys of the year, and why is it William Heavenhill 19? No, I'm just kidding. But what are some of your top whiskeys of the year? I'm curious to hear from folks, and also, like, have you seen any surprises out there as far as people putting their lists out, whether or not they're doing a taste-off like this, or they're just kind of putting a little list together or something. Like, have you seen any surprises along the way, as far as some choices? I feel like, some folks' lists make sense. Like, I saw Jason Mash and Drum, he put William Heavenhill 19 as his top pour. I'm like, yeah, like I could completely see that. That makes sense to me. And then there are some other folks, publications, things like that I feel like have been full of head scratchers. I think I saw Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Rye being at the top of a list. I think I saw Jack Daniel's Toasted being at the top of a list. And you never know if certain folks are going to be putting, you know, value into the equation or not. But yeah, definitely some interesting choices thus far for some people. So many bangers this year. Good evening, all. No one likes a spitter. Nice glassware, says Tony. Yeah, Tony, that's the way that I know it's not a glass that's going to be in the flight tonight, is because it's got the different decal on it. Everything else is, shockingly, a Drums and Drams branded glass. So, narcissism in real life right here. All right, U414. So, as you guys are coming in here, take a look at the answer key in the description of this video. You'll be able to see exactly what I'm tasting tonight with their corresponding codes. Right now I'm pouring J216, whatever the heck that means. And so along the way, I do ask, again, no spoilers, please. Wow, I do have a lot of these to pour. That totally stinks. Sorry to put you guys through that. Jay, come on, I can't. Come on. I thought you were moving to a new home cam. Jay, I am in a new house, man. But it just looks the exact same so far because instead of trying to be creative and get completely frozen by too many choices, I just decided to make it look the exact same for now. Although the barrel in the background fell apart during the move, so I've got to get a new barrel. And I think I'm going to ask River Roots for one of the barrels for one of our upcoming picks. All right, so right now I'm pouring C787, whatever that is. Hey, if somebody in the Patreon, could you copy the list and put it in Discord? I know folks have wanted that in the past, maybe on the last stream that we did. That would be helpful. So, cheers, guys. Colonel E.H. Tater says, getting saturated tonight. Hopefully not too bad. Hopefully spitting most of this stuff in an effort to make it to my dress rehearsal at 10 in the morning and not play like a bag of shit. Any guesses, guys? Any guesses tonight for pours that are not going to make it through? M636 is what I'm pouring right now. You know what's funny about this this top 30 is everything I'm pouring right now looks dark as night. So it's not a unique factor in this flight if a whiskey is dark, because they're all going to be dark. All right. So let me explain how this worked as I kind of get close to finishing up here. So I took all 31 of tonight's pours with Sarah, and what happened is I made all these random alphanumeric codes. I wrote labels for all of them. I cleaned all these sample bottles, and let me think about how we did this. I poured into the sample bottle. The sample bottle had no label on it. I handed the sample bottle to Sarah. She applied a random label of the ones that I wrote down. So I would say, here's Michter's 20. She took a random sticker, put it on the Michter's 20, typed it into the answer key. So I never saw what it was. All I know is that these are the random codes I made, and they went on some sample bottle. So that's what I'm pouring from here. And so the goal is, if I need to go back and retaste something and I run out in my glass, I can re-pour it for myself and still not know what it is. That makes it a little easier than having Sarah sit here with me all night. Now, we might have someone joining us on Sunday, I haven't confirmed that yet, to help me with all this logistics stuff. But for tonight, I can re-pour it for myself. Let's see, did a live stream with that bourbon dude. Did I get that one? D717, I did, good. With that bourbon dude, and I had a Kings County Hazmat pick, Jack 14, King of Kentucky, and then William Heavenhill 19. See, that's what I'm afraid is going to happen for me this year. William Heavenhill 19 is a little bit one-dimensional. I love it for what it is, but I think as far as complexity goes, it could end up getting beat by something that's not quite as, that's a little more complex, but maybe not quite as powerful. Okay, R678. Absolutely shocked it didn't win. All right, we are almost there, guys. I shouldn't have started the stream. I should have just ended up being 15 minutes late to the stream. But, you know, I wanted to get on here. I didn't want to make people wait. I was a little ambitious. I got home from work, immediately started prepping, and 2 hours later, still didn't finish it up. All right, A423. What do we got here? The William Heavenhill 19 is my favorite when drank alone. I would agree with that. Favorite, or for me, Blade and Bow 30 this year is definitely a top contender. F632. Favorite in bar, William Heavenhill 19. Favorite bottle, Stranahan Founders. I haven't tried any of the Stranahan stuff, recently at least. I've had it kind of fleetingly here and there, you know, different events and stuff like that, but I don't think I've ever actually owned a bottle of it. And truthfully, like, I haven't kept up on a lot of American single malt stuff this year. All right, I think there's like 7 more of these. Let me make some space on the table. It's a absolute mess in here with all these whiskeys. So I'll kind of get into that in a second. I'll make my final little announcement pitch here before we get going as far as like what the process is and all that. But let's knock out these last few. We should have 7, and we do have 7. Y519. Beacon and Knob Creek 21, says Frank. I'm afraid Knob Creek 21 is not going to make it into the next round. Considering just how soft of a profile it is. It does concern me a little bit. You're typically 15. I'm never 15 minutes late, Jay. That's like Bourbon Junkies late. I'm usually like 8 minutes late, you know? Okay, 0222. We've got here. R078. King Kentucky 2025 made it to your top 30. I heard the 25 releases more complaints and compliments. Yeah, we're gonna talk. I'll give you the full rundown here in like 2 minutes once I'm done pouring these. I got 4 more left. We'll talk about why King of Kentucky is in the finals right now and how I advance things through the rounds. I've been tasting stuff for a few weeks now for Patreon only. And so there have been previous tasting rounds that have led to today and to Sunday's stream that we're gonna do. That said, some of them I didn't have for the previous rounds, like my King of Kentucky just arrived. And so I went ahead and auto-advanced it to the finals, which is tonight, but it still could get kicked out and not make it actually into the top 20. It might just be in this top 31 tonight, and that would be it. All right, 2 more. Q270 and N923. And then we are up and running. That's okay, you hate Knob Creek 21, says Jay. Only in your imagination, dude. Only in your imagination. N923. And I need to grab the sticker. And there we go. We are freaking done. Let's get ready for the craziest blind that's ever happened on this channel. Okay. All right. Little free space here. And we are ready to go. All right, guys, let's do it. So, I've tasted 2 or 3 rounds so far. Those were for Patreon only. Each round had like between 20 and 30 samples. The way that I did this is for the final round right here, there were 23 or 24 whiskeys that I said I'm gonna pre-advance. They got like 89, 90, 95 scores out of 100 for me this year. I said those are in contention for Whiskey of the Year. There were some that I knew I loved, but I hadn't rated yet. I hadn't actually scored them in a video or on a live stream or something. William Larue Weller, listen, Pappy 15 this year. It's not like the most amazing thing, but I thought it was a really good representation. And Pappy 23, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pre-advance these to the finals, knowing that they could still get kicked out of the top 20 because we have 31 tonight. So I pre-advanced the high scores and I pre-advanced things that I thought should be in the finals. I also did a play-in round where I did a prelims, and then there were like 8 whiskeys that moved on. Then I had a semifinals with even more stuff. 7 whiskeys went on now to the finals. That's where you're going to get your K-Luke Toasted Rye Batch 5. That thing made it all the way through those rounds. There were other things in there. Calumet Farm 17, Russell's 13 Batch 6. Those things made it through the play-in rounds all the way up to the finals. Most of those came from the second play-in round. The play-in rounds were divided into low 80s, and then you had to win that to make it to the mid 80s scores from the year. Then those made it up here to the finals. So this final is a combination of things from a play-in round that made it up, things that I auto-advanced because I scored them high this year, and then other whiskeys that I loved but hadn't scored yet for 2025. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here. I think it's a very complete representation of what I've tasted so far, or not so far, but throughout 2025. It represents pretty much everything. I tasted, I would say, probably all of the limited edition offerings that you're going to get your hands on. Maybe Preservation, 17-year, here or there, I didn't taste. There were a few of those that slipped through the cracks. I can't buy all these things on secondary, but most of the things I was able to acquire on secondary, and so that's how we're here. All these whiskeys I have bottles of. None of these are coming from samples. None of them are store picks or group picks. None of my own picks are in here. There are single barrels represented, but they have to be mass release single barrels. Like the Four Roses Black Friday bottle, that's in here. I just have a random single barrel from that lot. And so I'm not going out seeking out the best. Same thing for King of Kentucky. I saw one on secondary, pulled the trigger. I don't know anything about the stats of this bottle. I just bought it, and it's here, and it's in this flight. So I'm not cherry picking those single barrels. That's why I think they can be included in this blind. All right. Anything else I need to cover here? Anything else I need to cover? Justin, this is just a play for him to justify all the BTAC and other expensive bottles. Yeah, this is for the tax write-off. No, Sarah, she's understanding, I think, to a point. I think if she understood exactly what went into all this, she would murder me. But that's okay. All right. Let's go ahead and kick things off. We're going to start. I'm going to take light notes. You guys saw exactly what's in this. Again, description of the video. I'm going to put a banner up that says this. Create a banner. Check the video description for the answer key. Please, no spoilers in chat. Scroll across the bottom, and we'll add the banner. Boom, there we go. So I'll take these notes, and here we go. Let's get into it. We're gonna start with B617. B617. Okay. And it will take me a second to get into this. I'm coming off of Eagle Rare 12, so the quality of whiskey is about to be a pretty huge jump up. So bear with me as I kind of give you some rough notes here in the beginning. Again, the goal tonight, eliminate the bottom 11 and get a faint idea of the remaining 20, whether I think they're top tier, mid, or bottom. And we'll do the official order on Sunday. All right, B617. I need to just compare it to something. Little point of reference. Okay. All right, so on the nose. It's not crazy aged feeling on the nose, B617. It's got kind of a medium oak presence. I think for me, and I will come back to it here in just a second. After tasting a few, the first ones are always a little rough. I'm getting kind of like a dried apricot, dried fruit, maybe dried apricot / fig. So it's a drier nose, an oakier nose, a little bit of like a cinnamon thing. Doesn't feel super old. Not super old feeling. No funk or anything like that. No funk or anything like that. All right. Maybe some honey in here. Yeah. Maybe a dark honey note. So let's go to the palate. B617. All right. Off to the races. 30 more to go. For anybody hanging out in here, please do hit that like button. Chat's a little quiet. 125 people in here. It's not a huge stream. I know it's kind of last minute. All right. So, listen, B617 for me. This is good. There's nothing in here that's like, this is the whiskey of the year. You know, like I feel like this is just okay all the way around. I wonder why I can't see anything in chat. I wonder if it froze up. Give me a second, guys. Let me back out and refresh. I promise I'm still here. Okay. Yeah, I think my thing froze. All my numbers froze. I saw nothing in chat for a long time. Oh, there's Toshi. Jeez. Yeah. What the heck? Crazy. Toshi, thank you for the super chat, man. Guys, we're not doing a giveaway tonight. We might do one Sunday if I have someone here to help me manage all the super chats. I can't do the super chats and whiskey of the year at the same time. It would be impossible. Let's get this man some super chats. Sorry for the 30% cut, Tim, but I wanted to drum up some support. Cheers. Thank you, Toshi. Appreciate that, man. Okay, sorry about that, guys. No William Heavenhill 19. No, there is William Heavenhill 19 in here. Who said that? Oakley 20s, those are single barrels. And they were small releases. I don't think those should have been in here. So, as far as a single barrel list, those would be at the top of my list. Easily. If you decide not to spit, dress rehearsal could get interesting. Yeah. All right. Thomas says, surprised to see no GTS here. GTS got knocked out in my last tasting round. So, it didn't make it up here. It was just way too hot. Same with A. Smith Bowman cast strength. They suffered from the exact same thing in the last tasting round. They just felt too hot. Who asked about William Heavenhill? No, yeah, we've definitely got that in here. All right. B617, one more sip. Listen, this one has a good spice profile to it. There's not a wow factor going on for me, though. For whatever reason. Good spice profile. It's got a long finish. I'm just going to say profile, not particularly interesting on this one. I might have to pull up my YouTube chat because for some reason, StreamYard is not updating for me. I don't know if unless Noah is the last person that said something. Otherwise, it's just not updating for me. I'll pull it up here on the side. Yeah, it's just not updating for me. I don't know why. All right, so B617. I'm not going to kick it out just yet, but I'm going to put a big question mark next to it. Maybe kick out. Now I am, though, says Noah. Have you tried the GTS with water? I frothed it once upon a time, and it got a lot better when I frothed it, which is, I know people are going to be like, what are you talking about? It is a true thing. You froth the whiskey, it can change it. I think I frothed it for like 7 seconds on the GTS. Let's move on to the next one. I got to go through these quick, guys. So this is N923. N923. Maybe yeah, Mark, my StreamYard's being wonky. If you see me look to the side, guys, I've got the live chat pulled up over here because it's not working on my screen. Okay, wow. So this. All right, this is much, to me, on the nose, N923, far and away over B617 so far. This is like dark, plummy, raisin, kind of like very, very intense dark fruit notes. Heavy oak presence here. There's kind of like a dusty chocolate powder thing. Wow. I mean, I'm gonna write some of this down. N923. I'm gonna write, this is my pretentious word. Dark, unctuous nose, plums and raisins, dusty chocolate powder, aged oak. It's a great nose, very, very full. That's what I'm talking about. See this, I thought I was crazy. I'm like, why can't I taste B617, the very first one? It's just because it didn't have that much going on compared to this. This, to me, this is a whiskey of the year contender as far as profile goes. Drinking experience, it's very balanced throughout. It's not like a big, massive palate or anything. Very balanced, great profile, super dark and rich. It is tannic on the finish. Medium finish, medium long finish. It's not crazy, and I think that's because the proof might be more mid-range and not like blisteringly hot. I don't think it's low, but I just think it's mid-range. Very good. N923 for me, absolutely top 20 whiskey. I think that's a top 20 whiskey. I'll come back and check, but I'm gonna move that into a little pile in front of me here. All right, so I would say it's probably safe to say that the first one that I smelled and tasted, B617, that's probably out for me. I will make a point to revisit that, but let's keep going. Let's move on now to Y519. Y519. Check the chat here. Hey, it works. I fully agree the GTS was too hot. I had my cork break and the cork pieces wouldn't come out of the bottle, so I put in my nice airtight decanter and proofed it down to 134. Wow. So you went for it. Honestly, it probably made it better though. You sunk my battleship. Yeah, guys, please no spoilers in the chat. Anything. Colonel E.H. Tater, that makes me think that I just kicked out a Pappy for the first one. Because you got your Tater thing, your Buffalo Trace thing. So please, like, anything like that I could even read into, please don't mention that stuff, guys. Appreciate it. All right, let's keep going. Toshi, thanks again for that $100 super chat, man. That's crazy. Appreciate it. No giveaway tonight, guys, but here we go. Y519. Just a quick reminder, the list is in the description of the video. Okay. Wow. Y519. This is like dark chocolate molasses oak nose. Dark chocolate molasses oak. Wow factor on the nose. Wow. Okay. Let's see what's going on the palate for this one. Palate was lacking on that compared to the nose, I think. I may take a sip of that one instead of spitting next time. Yeah, so I think, you know, I've got to be picky on these. I've got to be picky. Nose set up a great experience. I'm going to say palate didn't quite deliver. It's very balanced. Let me take a very small sip. Yeah, great profile. I mean, killer profile. Maybe even more so than the previous N923. Like it does a little bit more for my preferred profile. N923, I think, is more complex whiskey, for sure. I'm gonna just take a little note here. More complex than Y519. I need all these notes, it's helpful. Y519, the singular profile that it has is really good, but it's very focused on dark chocolate, molasses, oak, maybe a little nuttiness, but if so, it's like way in the background. But the palate didn't deliver as much. I'm still gonna say that that's probably gonna get moved on to the top 20 out of tonight, but that may end up placing towards the bottom of the 20, and it still may get kicked out. But at this point, I think I can pretty firmly say beat 617. That's out. I think that's definitely out. Guys, let me try one more time to refresh my page just to see if I can get my live chat working. I'm gonna fully exit out of StreamYard, jump back in. It may take me a second to get situated again, but I'll be right back, I promise. Okay. We are back. We are back. Hopefully it's going to work this time. Come on. I think it's just not. I think StreamYard's just glitching or something. I can't put things on the screen. That's what bothers me. I can't put super chat or live chats up on the screen. All right. Next up is T203. If anybody out there knows why StreamYard might be doing this and if I can make a quick fix, let me know. That'd be greatly appreciated. T203, for those of you looking at the answer key. At least we still get the Muzak while he's gone. Jeremy, you look 22. Cheers. Oh, okay. I'm getting a few coming through here. Mark Vasco, that came through. Okay, T203. This might be the fruitiest I've smelled so far. Really like the profile. It's not so focused on aged oak. Fruity nose. Still dark, but less focused on age and more on a kind of like fresh, but also reduced dark fruit element. Yeah. Now let's get a sip of T203. Okay, I'm trying to get this all to jive here. There we go. What's up, Matt Porter? Good to see you, dude. Ooh, wow. T203 for me, this is getting a lot oakier on the palate than it was on the nose. The nose, like I said, felt fruity. Yeah, and it's making the last one, Y519, actually smell pretty nutty now. So this is, again, fruit on the nose, but palate, T203, palate is way oakier with a, and this is the differentiating factor of this whiskey, T209. It has a velvety mouthfeel. Let's take a real sip of this now. Okay. This is very good. I think it's probably better than the last thing I tasted, Y519. So I'm gonna say that is moving on. Wow, the finish is super oaky. What the heck? Finish is super oaky. Lots of leather in the finish as well. Okay. We're gonna move that on for now. Let's go to one here, H701. H701. What's the appropriate, what's Joe asking? What's the appropriate, dude, why is this not there? Thank you. D&D pick to pour while we watch? I don't know. What do you think? Full throttle. Pour full throttle. Because that's what's happening tonight. Okay. On to H701. This is fairly hot on the nose. It's got an ethanol punch. Now, I don't think that that's the full story of the whiskey. It's got kind of like this burnt caramel, burnt chocolate almost. Burnt caramel / chocolate. So maybe I should mention like a barrel char. It's like barrel char forward, I guess. But now as I come back to it, I'm starting to get like rye characteristics. It's almost a citrus thing popping out now. So first impression, the first thing I got was just this heavy, intense, ethanol forward, kind of dry-ish nose. Again, H701 is what I'm talking about. But then as I go back, citrus. Yes, like almost craft citrus in a way. It's like a lemon lime sort of thing. Citrus, I'll put in parentheses lemon lime. So maybe this is a rye of I don't even know. I'd have to look at the list of what ryes are in here. I'm not gonna do that. I don't wanna take any guesses. Citrus lemon lime appears after initial shock to nose. Oh, I think my live chat might be working now. I got Sean Holgrave. Oh, Mark Vasco's gonna pour some Funky Monkey. You should do it, man. All right, let's take a sip of H701. The nose not my favorite, only because of how hot it feels. Wow. Immediate attack. Wow. High proof. Very rye forward. Rye forward and very, very dry. Maybe some cola in here too. Very dry with cola. Super long finish, but suffers from dryness. The proof whore in me, like the person that wants a powerful, powerful whiskey, I like things about this, but in this league of the whiskeys that I'm tasting tonight, anything like that, anything that's too dry, that's too ethanol forward, I have to be picky. It's like if I put this sample 2 rounds ago when I did Patreon only prelims, you put this in there, it's gonna mop the floor with everything. I'm still gonna notice the deficiencies, I think, but it's gonna stand out a lot more here. And because I've had such crazy, like the last 3 that I've tasted have been so dark and rich, then you get to this and it stands out like that. This is an on the bubble whiskey, I would say. I like, part of me wants to just say, let's kick it out. And part of me is like, nah, we're gonna give it a second chance at the end of the stream. Thinking about popping, open that copper in King's 15. If you do, let me know what you think. This is like whiskey meets court reporter. Yeah, I've got to do my, that's the thing. It actually would be not interesting. It would be helpful to have somebody like almost type it for me, you know, like someone keep track of my notes and then at the end I can look back on them, but I'm not going to put someone through that. Okay, moving on. Let me grab a random one here. What's that say? G921. Look at, I mean, the color on this is crazy. A little sip of water here. Cam needs a paralegal. Joe, let's do it. So Joe, Sunday, I need to ask you guys about this. And Sunday, I promise, will be better. I won't be behind in the beginning. I'll have everything set up. I have nothing to do Sunday except for this live stream that we're talking about. But I do want to ask you guys, what time should I start on Sunday? We've got playoff games, I think at like, is it 2 and 6:30 or 3 and 6:30? NFL playoff games. I have to overlap, but is there a preferred time? Like, should I start in the middle of the first game? Should I start at the beginning of the second game? What do you guys think? I could do it at noon, but I don't think anyone's gonna watch at noon. All right, so G921. Let me write this down here. G921. Massive, massive cola whiskey. Massive cola nose. Wildly intense oak presence. Somewhat rubbery. Let's keep going. Yeah. Clove. I'm gonna say bittersweet clove. Okay, let's take a sip. G921. Very soft whiskey. Soft as far as proof. There's still like some grittiness here. It's tannic. Yes, it's tannic. So it's sucking the moisture out of my palate. But it's also got a little grittiness to the texture, just a little bit. Not a long finish. Okay, let's write some of this down. Tannic, slightly gritty. Medium, I'm gonna say fairly short finish. Feels lower proof. Cool profile. It's almost like a novel kind of profile. Okay. Small sip of this one. This is tough. This is kind of a, it's very one-dimensional. Again, that's not a problem for me. One-dimensional. It's just that it's kind of weak. It's just the whiskey overall. And maybe that's because what I'm tasting it next to, you know, we're talking about higher proof points. Let me just do a quick comparison to one of the ones that I've already tasted. Excuse me, that I feel like I might advance. So let me go to N923. No, that one felt higher proof. Y519, this one. I had the same complaint. I said palate didn't quite deliver. So let me do a quick comparison. G921, which is what I'm taking a look at, up against previously Y519. Okay. The Y519, more caramelized, a little bit more chocolatey, a little fresher. Still oaky, but sweet oak. Whereas G921, this is just like cooked down oak. Syrupy, cola syrup. Just, again, completely cooked down. Truthfully, they're both kind of, they have the same problem, but with different profiles. Okay, of course now my chat's no longer updating. Let me look over here. Dude, I forgot how good this is, says Mark. Oh, I'm glad you like it, man. I can use AI to transcribe the audio. Ah, man. I feel like I'd have to, I don't know if I would trust it. I mean, I guess I would trust it, but I'd rather take the notes. Call me old-fashioned, Mark. Okay, one more sip of this G921. Here's the deal. I'm gonna advance that for now, too. And I'm gonna make a little note that says, advance, but, revisit when looking to eliminate because palate is too soft and simple, maybe. I don't know. We'll come back to it. We'll figure it out. Which one is this? 0222. I don't think I've done this one yet. So let's do this one. I should have done 6 so far. Yep. So we're on number 7 now of 31. I told you it's gonna be a longer stream. Again, reminder, if you guys are just now jumping in, let's see, is my computer gonna work with me here? We have about 170 watching, that's great. Just a quick reminder of what we're doing. We're narrowing down my top 31 to a top 20. We're not ordering everything tonight. This is part 1 of 2. Second part is going to be on Sunday night. So if anybody's jumping in here, what's the whiskey of the year? We're not going to know tonight. I'm not even going to look. Well, I guess I'll probably look at the ones that didn't make it through. I'll probably reveal those tonight. So I'll end up finding that out. I don't think that's going to change much. I'm not going to be going through the top 20 trying to guess what's what. But at least maybe there'll be a couple surprises at the end of the night. Tannic whiskey's an instant no for me. Well, and the thing is, like, oh, my chat updated. Cool. Tannic whiskey can come off, like the tannins can manifest differently. It's, again, sounds pretentious, but it's just kind of like wine. Sometimes wine folks will describe tannins in hilarious ways. Oh, these are triangular tannins. You know, these are very circular tannins. Whatever they say. But it's true. It's true that the tannic quality can have different, kind of manifest differently. And I think for me, I don't mind tannin. I guess if it contextually makes sense with the profile of the whiskey, you know, and it's not, maybe it doesn't come out of left field and smack you in the face and make you go, what the heck? This year's best. So next up, guys, for those of you looking at the answer key, we have 0222. All right. Finally, one that's not a color that, you know, like finally one that you can actually see through. It's not actually opaque. All right. Silky tannin, says Joe. There you go. That's actually kind of what that last one had. It was more, it did still have some grip to it, but overall, the experience was kind of silky. Later's probably better. Can sleep in until midday like camp since Monday's a holiday. Oh, that's right. Monday is, okay. That's right. And then we have what? We have the national championship on Monday. Is that right? Mike said 5 p.m. compromise and split the games. Allow for plenty of time. And that's a good clean start time, 5 p.m. And dude, the stream might take, like, it might be a marathon. It could end up being a 5-hour stream. Because I'm not going to be able to just go straight through and blast it out real quick. Like, trying to order those things is going to be a hell of a task. All right, 0222. All right, what do we got here? Is Monday not an option? No, Monday's not an option, unfortunately. Huh. Kind of reminded me of a previous one, 0222. "50 Shades of Tannin." I'll put that on the screen. This one's confusing me. This is very much an oak bomb on the nose. It smells old. I mean, that's gonna be a dumb comment once we start getting into this. So many of these are old. But there's one element of this whiskey that I'm smelling right now that is lifted and lifted and bright and spicy. So I'm gonna say oak bomb nose, but the more I smell, the more it gets lifted. The more the top layer, because it's not all of it, the top layer gets lifted, brighter, spicier. I think that's a good way to describe that. All right, let's get this on the palate. I'm almost finding a citrus thing in here, but it's in like a bourbon context, like a bourbon citrus, not a rye citrus. So it's more of like a balanced, slight pineapple, maybe like a mandarin orange thing in here. I'm gonna say perhaps a citrus / tropical accent on nose. Mandarin / pineapple, question mark? All right, let's go palate now. Wow. That tastes like a wild turkey product. It might not be, but that has some serious spice to it. A lot of spice. But again, I'm not calling this a turkey product because there's so much oak underneath it. Like, wow, and very aged feeling. So 0222. Great palate experience, I think. I mean, this is kind of like a do-it-all whiskey so far. I mean, it's got the spice of some of the higher proof ones. It's got the aged oak. It's got a little bit of a fruit element here, not crazy. It kind of does a little bit of everything. I like that a lot. Like, to me, that is an easy move on to the top 20 so far. Although I may have to start getting even pickier because I'm, you know, if I've got 5 moving on and 2 probably not moving on. Ratio-wise, I think that's just about the right ratio. Second sip, I did actually take a sip that time. Second sip is even spicier and less oak for me now. The oak on this product comes out in the finish. It's almost like blackberry and oak in the finish. And when I'm saying oak in the finish, I need to be more specific. It has the turkey funk, which to me is a very pungent leather, like pungent aged leather with oak is how I would refer to turkey funk. With the best word there, the most descriptive word being pungent. I just think that classifies turkey funk for me in a lot of ways. Pungent turkey funk on finish, but each sip gets a bit spicier and brighter. I'm gonna say great complexity to this. And I don't always look for complexity, but when it smacks you in the face like this, you got to take note of it. I think you have to appreciate it. So I would say that is probably going to be moving on. 0222. Okay. Are we updating here? Are we updating? Bourbons are too oaky, too. No, we are not. I'm still missing a few chats here. That's okay though. All right. Cool. So I'll come. I do sort of want to revisit that just for the spice element, but I do like the finish in particular and the way that drinks intensely. But that spice thing, I might revisit that, but we'll find out. But for now, moving on. And if it is a turkey product, there should be other turkey products in here, and I'll try to take note of when those pop up if I recognize that kind of a profile and see if I can compare those profiles. All right, so next up is S884. There we go. Chat is updating now. It's great. S884. This one, this looks pretty dark, so let's go to the nose. Ooh. Dark fruit. I mean, that's pure dark fruit nose. All right, I'm gonna taste this. This smells like something I want to drink. This smells great. Man, that's good. S884. Oh, that also kind of has turkey funk on the finish. But, wow, very, like, all dark fruit on the nose. Translates to the palate, not a blisteringly hot proof. There's some chocolate that appears somewhere along the way. And now the finish is all just, again, I'm going to refer to it as turkey funk, even if it's not a turkey product. Sometimes Tannic is nice. When Cam starts to read your chat, then doesn't. Sorry, bouncing around. What did I say? When many people get rubber, I tend to get the taste that comes to mind from the texture of the old Big League Chew. Oh, interesting. When I say rubber, I mean like tire rubber. This year's best of the year was very difficult. One of the better years for LEs, and I didn't even have Blade and Bow 30. I think, some of the LEs that got left out of here, that just got left out because I tasted them and I didn't think they belonged in this conversation. Four Roses, I gave that like a 78. I mean, that was just not a whiskey for me. What was another one? Little Book Infinite Chapter 2 did not even begin to make the cut. What else? I have a list I had like a list on my computer. Yeah, here it is. This master list of things that made it into each round. Oh, Heavenhill Unity didn't make the cut. Michter's Barrel Strength Rye I left out. Again, these are Old Forester Birthday Bourbon easily did not make the cut. And then I threw Russell's 13 batch 6 and I threw Discovery 13 into the rounds. And Russell's 13 batch 6 actually made it into this round. Discovery 13 did not make it to this round. And I wasn't going to include Russell's 13 batch 6. Decided to put it in the semifinals and it played into this round. Unity was ass. Yeah, listen, Heavenhill 90th and Unity at their price points. Heavenhill 90th, if that was a $75 bottle, buy all day. At $125, I don't see it. Unity at $225 is robbery. Do not buy that. Lineup is in the video description with the answer key. Please no spoilers in the chat though. If anybody spoils anything, if we have a mod in here, I think we do have some mods hanging out. I'll ask them to delete those things and mute you or kick you out or whatever they can do, because we don't want that. Wow, I mean, man, S884. Outstanding nose. I mean, I'm telling you, this is crazy good. Russell Singer, Camp Nelson E should be in the list. I poured it earlier, at the very least. It is poured out in here. Man, that is so good. It's either like a beam product, like an aged beam product, or an old, or like a beacon or something like that. Like that S884 is that's just my profile. I'm just gonna say tons of leather and dark fruit, crazy old finish, hangs on forever, delicious. I'm gonna easily say that's advancing. All right. Let me grab a random one. All right, this one stood out. A423. Fault Line was a single barrel, so that was not, and it did come out as a batch of single barrels, like there were 4 of them, but because it was a K&L release, I felt like that still kind of counted as a store pick, so I didn't include it because of that. Pappy 15 and 23 in this. Damn, I see you can't. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's good or bad. One of them, if that first one that I tasted was one of those, I don't know if it is or not, but it's such a different profile than all this oaky shit that I've been tasting that if you told me that's Pappy 15, I would completely believe you. I think the Pappies are going to get murdered in this flight, but that's okay. I wanted to include them and just see what happened. What's up, dude? What's up, Mr. Whack? Good to see you, man. All right. Re-up in the water. I want to be drinking like 6 bottles of water through this stream. I've got to keep my palate as fresh as possible. The thing is, the tannins start to build as you sip these things. It's not the spice that blows your palate out with old whiskeys. It's the tannin. All right. A423. What are you doing to me? The nose on this whiskey. I gotta write this down. A423. Holy nose. I'm gonna take a sip of this. All right. Powerful. Very spicy. My palate needs a second sip of this to get into what this whiskey is, because that is, gee, many Christmas, man. It's good. It feels high proof though. So it's got this tar thing, this like molasses tar combo. Tar, for me, when I say that note, I'm not just talking about like, I said tar and molasses together. Molasses being molasses, which is kind of like, you can think of it as like a dark, unctuous, bittersweet thing. Tar, I'm literally meaning in the sense of like, it's got an industrial quality to it. It has like a savory industrial thing. There's clove in here too, actually. I mentioned that earlier on something. I'm gonna say crazy dark, rich, bittersweet, molasses, tar. I don't know. I'm gonna say very oaky, but cut by the spice. Like the spice cuts through the oak on A423. So it doesn't feel over oak to me. I always said blinds don't lie, but I've come to learn. Yeah, blinds are super vulnerable. That's why I want to bounce around this. I'm doing it in a random order. I'll retaste some things. You know, if I feel like I need to retaste some things, I'll retaste it. The water thing, I'm kind of just, I'm not taking a sip between every pour. I probably should for uniformity, but I'm not thinking about when I'm sipping water. And then I'll just do multiple sips of the whiskey. So I think I'm trying to be as fair as possible, as accurate as possible. Industrial tar and vehicle tire seems similar in my brain. Yeah, it's a little different for me, but I know what you're saying. Let's do another sip of this. I'm going to take a small sip and not spit it out. Man, I mean, that is it's a very, very good palate. It reminds me of really old Heavenhill, is what it reminds me of, if I'm being honest. How are we doing on the live chat here? Are we caught up? I actually might be more caught up on my screen than the YouTube chat is. The YouTube chat now looks like it's behind. That's strange. All right. Okay. Let's get back to it. Well, here, I'm toiling over this, but I think I've gotten out of this what I need to get out of this. So let me get back here. I'm getting out of this what I need to, which is that I'm advancing this. I'm more like, I was having this moment of thinking like, is this like my favorite thing I've tasted? You know what I mean? I don't need to think about that right now. I just need to advance it or throw it behind. And that is definitely getting advanced. And I feel like my only complaint about this whiskey, if I had to complain about this, is that it feels a teeny bit overly spicy. Like I actually wish there was a little more backbone to it. It's a small complaint. Whereas like before, S884 has got so much richness to it and sweetness. It's almost like I want that A423 to have a little more sweetness. And honestly, it could be like a drop of water or two. Okay, so A423 is advancing. I am probably going to have to come back and make some cuts out of the list, but I have those marked as on the bubble. I have it marked as, you know, maybes. Let me go through and check in on my notes. I'm going to retaste N923 very quickly, just out of curiosity. Now, that's good. N923 is good. Very, very, very good. There's going to be some decisions made in the next round when I actually have to order these things. I am scared. I am terrified. All right, let's go to P7. Is that right? P749. Yeah, I think that's right. P749. Okay. Wow. Whatever I just retasted, N923, Oak City. Thanks, Joe. P749. Looks like chat is finally consistently updated, so that's good. Please hit that like button, guys. P749 on the nose. Okay. It's very sour. This one's very sour on the nose. I need to smell. I need to like get my nose back. No, I don't think I'm crazy. I think this has some sourness on the nose. Sour oaky nose. Kind of like. Whereas the difference here, the reason I'm like kind of wishy-washy on this right now, when I compare it to some of these others that I've advanced, that they are very oaky. Some of them more sweet, some of them more bitter, some of them more spicy, but all of them, or many of them, have a strong aged oak component. But sourness with oak, when it's really like, that might come from like an acetone note from Brown Forman. It can also just come from things being straight up over oaked. But a sour quality to oak can be off-putting to me, I think. Weird. Okay, P749. All I've written is sour oaky nose. I'm just gonna take a sip. Wow, that's very, very intense. I don't know what I think about that. Almost has like a rye character to it. It's heavy, like heavy chocolate, specifically like Hershey's syrup. Hershey's syrup on palate. Sour oaky nose, heavy chocolate, Hershey syrup on palate. And then I said there's almost like a rye character to it. Almost a rye character to the drinking experience. It had good proof to it. There's just something sharp about this, and sharp and sour, and those are things that I don't know that, you know, I don't know I can be that forgiving of those kinds of qualities in a lineup like this. Sharp and sour, but with an otherwise very good profile. I'll do another sip. Okay, who is this? My 2026 resolution is to avoid saying dark and bright fruit. Instead, just name the fruit. Okay. Cool. I saw you earlier say something about what's dark fruit. I mean, you know. yes and no with the specificity. Yes and no. I think for me right now, it matters a lot less what notes I'm calling out and the minutia. It matters more of like the overall experience I'm trying to talk about. Because I'm drinking them blind and I'm just trying to give yes or no, pass, fail kind of for these. Sorry, I didn't mean to be snarky. Yeah, the more I smell this, the more it's getting kind of a like almost cornbread sawdust with the oak. So that's a brighter thing. All right, let's see. I'm confused by this. P749. I don't know, man. I don't know. I tend to say stewed fruits when it's that dark mixture of fruit. Yeah, sometimes I'll say like, oh, it's a berry reduction, you know, and it's like, but I use that note a lot to describe a certain thing, and I think, you know, sometimes you can just say the same note too many times and people they get sick of it. And then there is a case to be made to be really specific, but I also think being too specific can hinder people's, you know, understanding of what you're trying to say. I don't know. All right, I gotta make a decision on this. Take one more sip. I don't know why that's not totally doing it for me. That's like on the bubble for me for some reason. Yeah. I mean, that might be, no, see, B617 was such an easy out. And then I have these two on the bubble. There's a lot to like about what I just tasted, but I don't know. I feel like I should like that whiskey. The profile aligns with me, but it's sour and sharp. And it's almost too spicy. Because I said here, almost a rye character to the drinking experience. I'm gonna say it's on the bubble. Let's keep moving. I can't get bogged down. W327 is next. I felt like the last one I put on the bubble, interestingly enough, let me make sure I'm right. Yeah, that was the other one that felt kind of rye, like a rye. It was the really dry one. And so both of those almost felt rye-like to me. And I don't know if it's just because they felt overly spicy or if they were just too high of proof or some combination of the two. Okay. Keep going. W327. Color on this, actually not super dark. Ooh. This smells great, actually. This is like, finally, I'm not smelling like an oak bomb. So many of these are oak bombs and they start to run together and they're high proof. This feels just well balanced, you know? Well balanced, a medium proof maybe. Ah, that smells great. It's a nice break. I don't want to, you know, fawn over this thing just because it is a nice break and it's different. I need to write something on the nose. Let's do this. Pleasant, approachable, great balance and proof point. It smells almost like round. Smells round with a Brown-Forman like sweetness, which to me means maybe some tropical / banana notes with an oaky chocolate base. That's what I associate Brown-Forman sweetness with. So again, W327. All right, let me taste it. Let's check in chat over here. Is this the last thing in chat, guys? Or am I behind again? Because it's been like 4 or 5 minutes. All right, here we go. On the palate, W327. That's just really good. And I'll tell you what. I'm not just going for spice in this thing. I'm not just going for proof and, you know, melt your face kind of whiskeys. That is so good. So well balanced. I feel like chat is frozen for me again. Let's see. Yeah, it's definitely frozen. Oh well, it'll update in a second. In the meantime, let me see. Oh, I've missed a lot. Okay, yeah. Random topic. What's everybody consider best parent company? I keep leaning towards Brown-Forman the more I think about it. So for me, I mean, I think Brown-Forman with Jack is doing. Oh, here we go. Okay, there we go. If you see me panicked looking over like this, like what's going on? That's me going, I feel like I'm talking to myself right now and I don't have chat up. Yeah, so Brown-Forman for me, Paul, it's just not my profile typically. I mean, King of Kentucky used to be really good. I think it's fallen off. We'll find out tonight if it makes it through. And then like as far as Jack and other things, just that acetone note drives me freaking crazy. But as far as quality whiskey, if you like that profile, I think now they are the best parent company putting stuff out present day. Because also like Woodford freaking Chocolate Whisper Redux, which is in here tonight, that's the direction I want Woodford to go. Give me 139.4 proof, 12-year age stated. Give me that. That's what we want. What's up, Mojo? Okay. Nick, good to see you, dude. Oh, Jeremy, good God almighty. I can't put that on the screen. Slad, Chocolate Whisper Redux is gross as heck. We'll see tonight. Maybe it'll stand out tonight. Okay. What is this again? Oh, W327. If you told me this is Jack Daniel's 12-year, I'd be like, yes, that makes sense. That's what this kind of smells and tastes like, which I need to know for Matt Madness, apparently. That is just really... It's really good whiskey. W327. I don't know that I need to write anything else. Let me put it next to something else. Let me put it next to, again, one of the ones I was not so sure about earlier was Y519. Okay, I'm going to taste Y519. Okay. I love it. It's a little underwhelming on the palate, and it's a little bitter in the finish. I think those are things I said earlier, too. I didn't mention the bitterness in the finish. I'll write that in now. Bitter finish after, I'll say after sipping and returning to this one, just to be sure. Okay, back to W327. John, if you look in the description of the video, all the answer key is there. So that if you look at the scrolling banner as well at the bottom, all of the things I'm drinking with the corresponding alphanumeric code. It's all right there, and I'm trying to be sure to always say what I have in my glass. I'm not putting it on the screen what I have in my glass because I'm alternating back and forth sometimes, but there you go. All right, W327. I'm gonna put W519 on the bubble, or sorry, Y519 on the bubble. I'm gonna move W327 up into the advancing category, at least for now. I'm gonna say advancing, but take a second look if needed. That means if I need to kick something out, because I'm only narrowing this down to 20 tonight. Let's move on to K442. Travis, 132 proof. Excuse me. 132 proof Woodford Double Oak, just so good. They're so dumb for doing what they do. I bet that is good. 132 proof. Joe says my chat keeps disappearing. Might be a YouTube issue. Yeah, I'm noticing now on the chat side, not just on StreamYard, it's also acting up. I have to keep refreshing between these two. So I don't know what's going on. Okay. K442 again is what we're moving on to now. I almost lied. I thought the chocolate Redux was not great or even good. Was drying and unbalanced for me. But then again, I'm known to have a trash palate. No, I think you're probably right. It was a brash whiskey. I just thought stylistically it was really cool, and I love coffee. So like it had those coffee kind of notes to it. Chocolatey thing, you know. That's why I liked it a lot. But I think we'll see tonight if it should come off that way to me. It should come off drying, I would imagine, and brash. And be something like maybe that was what I was talking about earlier. There was one I was like, it's really hot. Everything's randomized. I literally just wrote random codes down, and then Sarah is the one that put them on all these sample bottles that I poured from. So I wrote 31 random codes. I just went down A through Z, and then I restarted and just chose a few other random letters, and so there's a few duplicates in there of the first letter, but it means nothing, that code. K442. Okay. This has like this is like it smells like an older MGP kind of product. So what I mean is there's like some earthy, outdoorsy oak. Earthy, outdoorsy oak. It's the note, and if this isn't MGP, that's fine, but it's the note that I always say on old MGP, which is like that fall, like you walk outside, the leaves have just fallen on the ground, you know, in the fall season, and it's got that smell of the leaves on the ground. So when I say like earthy, outdoorsy oak, I'm also gonna say like fall leaves. This has kind of like a graphite, black currant, almost like a little Cabernet sort of profile, like in whiskey form. Graphite, black currant, I'll say blackberry. It's kind of, a little redundant here, but with these kind of darker notes. Smells soft though. Okay, here we go, palate. It is very soft. Man, I love this profile. I do wish it was dialed up a little bit. What do we got going on? Patreon. Oh. A couple new Patreon members. Thanks, guys. Elliot and Keegan. Appreciate you. Yeah, guys, if you want to support the channel, obviously super chats tonight, much appreciated. No giveaway this evening, but maybe we'll do one on Sunday. Maybe I can do a giveaway of like, if I got to make sure I have enough whiskeys left, but I can give you like It could be a giveaway pack of, you know, top whiskeys of the year. I don't know, top 3, top 5, something like that. I'll have to figure it out. And it would be very dependent at the end of the stream of looking back at the bottles and being like, do I have enough left to give these away? So I wouldn't want to sell that sample pack prize as something and then have it change a little bit, but maybe a little flexibility would be appreciated. We could maybe do that on Saturday, or Sunday, excuse me. But no giveaway tonight, but super chats appreciated, of course. And listen, best way to support the channel right now, $5 or $10 a month. Jump in the Patreon. In the next week or so, we're going to be dropping a couple barrels from Dark Arts. We've got a 12-year Armagnac finished MGP 36% bourbon. That's like 115 proof, I think. We have a crazy barrel that's not going to make it to the lower tiers because it's a short barrel, 72 bottles. That's 134 proof, 11-year MGP, wild barrel. And then we have another 11-year that's 115 proof, 36 rye MGP. And then we have a pretty cool, almost 7-year Calvados finished, 95.5 Green River rye. So some random stuff. And then River Roots is dropping after that. We'll have some Elkwood stuff coming, all sorts of stuff. But $5 or $10 a month, Patreon, link in the description. That's the shameless plug. You know, much appreciated if you jump in there. K442. Back to this. I think this is going to get eliminated. Probably. Again, I love this. I just wish this profile was a little bit stronger. Tea, black tea. Black tea in the finish. Too soft, but very good. Out. I think we got to eliminate that one. Dustin made it to micro just in time. Yeah. All right. Finish of that whiskey, whatever that was, K442, a little grassy, So I feel better about eliminating it when I taste that grassiness, you know. All right, on to the next. Let me grab something that's a light color. I've been tasting so much dark whiskey. This looks kind of like, yeah, this, yeah, F222. F222. What do we have going on here? Oh, nothing is going on here, actually, for F222. Maybe something's going on here. It's a Buffalo Trace product. It's got to be. But it's super soft on the nose. BT sweetness. Super soft nose. But it smells good. Is it going to advance tonight? Probably not. Just even based on the nose. Ooh. Okay. It's like I say this about a lot of stuff like this. Funnel cake, cherry brandy, but almost a slight medicinal. Maybe slight medicinal. And when I say medicinal, I'm not talking like wild turkey heavy medicinal. Just a tinge of like a slight medicinal. I'll say strawberry question mark because it's, I don't know. Let's taste it. This is going to get eliminated. Oh, I love it. Whatever this is, I could just drink the crap out of this whiskey. Oh. But it's not whiskey of the year. You know what I mean? I could house a bottle of this. That's gonna be the note. I enjoy the Redux, so unique. I'm in for chocolate in my fresh roasted coffee, though. The sweetness really balances the powdery darkness. All right, F222. Excuse me. All right. One more sip. Oh, it's so... Okay. It's getting a little more medicinal. I don't know that this can be in the same conversation as these others. Oh, God forbid. I mean, that is... Yes, we have all these amazing, chocolatey, oaky, spicy... And I guess I am kind of focusing on one type of profile here. But this one made it in. This is the one that I said felt brown formany, soft and balanced. Oh, that's, yeah. And then we have this. We're going back to F222 now. I got a soft spot for this whiskey, man. And I know it's a Buffalo Trace product. I can smell it. I don't know which one it is. I've got, like, Mr. Sam, Pappy 23, Pappy 15, WLW, Eagle Rare 17. There are plenty of Buffalo Trace products represented in this flight. It's obviously one of the softer ones. I just have a soft spot for this. I'm going to put this on the bubble. That's so stupid of me. I should just eliminate it. I'm going to eliminate it at the end, I know. But it's on the bubble. Let's keep going. How we doing? Hour 31. It's only 9 o'clock. Normal live streams would be starting right now. And I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13 deep. And feeling good. Honestly, spitting whiskey out helps a lot. I have sipped a little bit. Got a teeny bit of a buzz going, but overall pretty good. So here we go. Let's grab another one. I think this is an L298. My handwriting sucks. It's either L298 or C298. Could be V298. But it looks like an L or a C to me. I think Cam is gonna replace Fred Minnick. No, I don't do 100. Dude, 100, I would die. Even spitting him. Slat, I hate you, bro. What's up, Sam? Can someone tell me if this is an L or a C? 298. Satch 30%. I don't think I'm even 30%, man. I'm gonna go ahead and write L298 until I hear from somebody what this one is. I can't look at the sheet because then I'll see the answers. Okay. L298. Thanks, Nick. Okay. I just need to take a sip of this. I'm just like confused by the nose on this whiskey. Yeah, I'm just gonna take a sip of this. We'll come back to the nose. All right. Man. Wow. Totally a different profile than anything I've tasted so far. And the palate is like really nice. It's saturating and coating. Like the entire palate it's got a great bit of spice to it. Almost felt like it had a little rye thing kicking in there, but I don't know that I would be sold on that. It's a little sawdusty. That's my complaint on the nose. It's so different than everything else. And this is the issue with once you get to something like this in a blind, all bets are off because you're just like, well, how do I try to objectively think about this whiskey compared to the other stuff that I'm tasting? you do the best you can. Obviously, your preferences take over at some point. This one is tough. And you guys obviously know what it is if you're looking at the sheet, L298. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna actually take a sip of this one. Fred didn't do that this year either since he said he was out of practice and hadn't reviewed. Oh yeah, I saw he was posting about that. I'm gonna struggle doing my own top of 25 list because I'm at 26 bottles. Just in my over 110 proof category, gonna be doing a bunch of narrowing down myself. Yeah, man. I feel that. Okay, finish on this L298. Coming back to this. Sorry. How do you rate it objectively? You don't, because it's. I know, Slad. What I'm saying is, like, if there's a whiskey that I. Like, for instance, I'm not the biggest Brown-Forman person, but if I try to, like, remove myself from knowing that I don't like an acetone note and then go, well, the rest of that whiskey's fucking awesome. So how do we deal with that? Then I will try to give it the benefit of the doubt. But then at that point, it's almost like a guessing game. Like, let's say you have 5 whiskeys, right? And I'm like, dude, I would normally never drink that whiskey out of these 5. But everything else about it except this one thing that I don't like, acetone, for instance, I love the rest of it. So I'm actually going to plug it into 3rd because I think, but at that point, you're almost like just trying to throw a dart and see where it lands. And you don't, because for me, I would just put it in 5th. And then I try to put myself in other people's shoes and it's like, is that the best way to do it? I don't know. It's tough. Yeah, it's like the drinking experience of the whiskey in a lot of ways and like the other attributes I feel like can be more objective, but the profile is the most subjective thing. Eric. I ain't gonna touch that. Excuse me. Okay, back to this. Dude, I have the hiccups, and I'm not even drunk at all. I think Matt Porter's gone through this too when he does his like 40 pour blinds. Your body just starts to be like, I don't want any more of this. Like, even if you're spitting it out, I don't want more of this. My body's starting to get a little bit of that. Okay. It's your top whiskey, not ever. Yeah, that's true, Joe. That's true. Okay. What do I write about this, you know? It is different. It is oaky in the finish. I think I gotta eliminate it. It's really close. It's so different. I mean, I just want to make a note of that, how different it is. Very different than others. It has a great oaky finish with a super saturated, like, here's what I'll say. L298 feels very well blended. And it has to be a blend, unless it's a single barrel from a collection of single barrels, but I don't know that there are many of those in here. So assuming that that's blended, it's very well blended to be like saturating on the palate, and it has just a great drinking experience. I'm gonna say it gets a little sawdusty with a second sip out, but very good. Kind of nutty. Yeah, kind of nutty. All right, so that's gonna go out. So I have that one out. I have K442 out. That was really soft. B617 definitely was out. And I smell it and I'm like, oh, maybe it should be in. No, I need to stop that. So I think those are my 3 outs so far. L298, K442, and B617. Yeah, okay. Water break. Oh, good call, Frankie. Thanks, man. Hit that like button, please, guys. Hey, Cam, do you happen to know where the single barrels were sourced from that were used in the Barrell Bourbon single barrel run from 2020? Oh, the 18-year whiskey. So I think I had one of these, like back in 2020. Was it like a what was it, like a blue or baby blue label? 18-year whiskey. I'm pretty sure I had one of those. I don't know where that was sourced from. Not a clue. Solid work so far, Cameron. Your hair looks great. Let's go. I'm not wearing a hat today. I had to go to work, so I had to freaking, put the mop on. Okay. All right. Next up. Oh. Now, also not to shill for a Bourbon Outfitter necessarily, but if you're a Patreon member and buy a lot of D&D or Junkies, the membership deal right now is a good idea to save on shipping. Yeah. Guys, real quick. This is not an ad, but we work with Bourbon Outfitter basically exclusively. I've only ever worked with someone else one time besides Bourbon Outfitter for however many barrels, 70 that we've done so far. Bourbon Outfitter right now has kind of like a pro membership. Sealbox has done this. Other people have done this online with different industries or whatever. But Bourbon Outfitter, I think it's $120 a month. Sorry, not a month. God, that's a bad ad. $120 a year right now until the end of the month, I think, and then it goes to $150. But $120 up front. I don't think you can use a gift card if you have it. I think you have to pay it out of pocket. But you get free shipping for the rest of the year. And shipping at BO is $30 flat, up to 6 bottles. And that's because shipping's expensive, and they're kind of averaging the cost of shipping it down the street versus shipping it to Hawaii or California or wherever, far versus near, and they average it out. It's $30. It's a little more expensive than other places. Some places are $20, $25. But bomb-proof shipping, it's really great. However, $120 a year. I almost said a month again. $120 a year, and you get free shipping. So I'm gonna buy that because I buy my own picks from Bourbon Outfitter and pay shipping. So I'm gonna buy that membership because that's gonna save me money after a couple of orders, Anyways, it's a great deal. Especially if you're buying, that's the thing, if you're buying ADHD whiskey, Bourbon Junkies, Drums and Drams, you're buying picks from us, which all of us pretty much exclusively go through Bourbon Outfitter. It does make things a little bit cheaper now. Yeah, after 4 orders, you've made your money back. Okay. Made your money back. That's bourbon math. Code Cam. Yeah, Code Cam doesn't work on the membership. I'm not going to get a kickback from the membership. Although, that would be cool, right? Okay, where am I at? C552. Let's do this one next. Okay. This is like raisins. Yeah. Yeah. C552. Mostly fruit. Mostly fruit nose. Heavy. I'm going to say that I said this earlier about something. I was just thinking about plums and raisins. Yeah, N923. I said plums and raisins. It smells freaking awesome. Going back to this one. This one is a little bit brighter. I'm going to be a douche. I'm going to say red currant. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds right. Red currant, Nah, let me say mostly fruit nose, somewhere between plum and raspberry. So it's dark, but it's still got a little red berry character to it, you know? Need to brush up on my fruits. Okay. I like the nose a lot. Balanced, great proof point, and great balance on nose. I could tell you what it reminds me of, but then you're gonna think I'm bottle guessing. I'll tell you anyways. It reminds me of the 8-year wheated bourbon from New Riff, distilled for Rabbit Hole, that was sourced by Limestone for the private stock, the Sapphire barrels. It smells like that 8-year stuff. That's what it reminds me of. All right, palate. Okay. Palate, top heavy. Not thin, but there's not quite enough support under the sort of like cinnamon dusted fruit notes that I didn't really get a lot of cinnamon on the nose, but on the palate I'm getting it. So I'll say all the fruit notes I got on the nose, the palate has like a little sprinkle of cinnamon on top of those, but then not enough of a ground swell of flavor and richness underneath it all. So it kind of sits on the top of my tongue with just like a tingly spice. Profile I do dig. Experience, I don't know. Code is C552. Can you do a top 20 letdowns of 2025 blind? Probably. Honestly, probably yes. That would be funny. Cam, you ever had anything from Copper and Cask? Yeah, I've had like a couple things from them. Curious about their blends and finishes, but not seen much. A lot of their stuff is over oak that I've tried. I don't know if it's like the Florida heat, because I think they do some stuff in Florida. Maybe that's where they're based. But so I haven't loved most of it, but I think for people that like NBC stuff, a lot of that like heavy oaked Kelvin stuff that NBC will put out, then I think those folks will also like Copper and Cask in a lot of ways. C552, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Paul, exactly. I'm like, I don't even know what a red currant is, but it sounds right, you know? It's like if I ever tried one, God only knows what it's gonna taste like. So anyways, all right, C552, I gotta get some final thoughts on this. I think this is probably gonna get eliminated, probably. It was really spicy on that sip. Man. Okay. I feel like I need to take a real sip of this. I think spitting it just now, it blew the spice up way too much. I'm gonna do one more sip of this and see where this falls. If it's on the bubble or if it's gonna be out. I mean, it could make it in, but I just wish there was a little more body to the whiskey. What is going on here? Red currants taste tart and tangy, often compared to cranberries, with the bright acidity balanced by subtle sweetness, though they are less sweet and more astringent than black currants. Sometimes offering fruity notes like raspberry or pomegranate. I should have said something more along the lines of pomegranate or cranberry, maybe, with a sharper, almost woody hint due to their seeds and high organic acids. Wow. Look at this, dude. You learned something in the live chat. Okay. One more sip, a real sip this time. Ooh. This does a lot better on a real sip. That second one that I did when it was all spice, that was my fault. It was just, it overwhelmed my palate because I was spitting it out. And now the finish is really nice on this. I think I'm going to leave that in. I'm smelling some other whiskeys that I have on the bubble so far. Okay. P749. What did I say about P749? Oh, yeah. Okay. And then H701. Ah. Okay. Back to this. I think this outperforms the bubble whiskey so far. Okay. Why 519? Huh, that one's weird. And then I eliminated, sorry guys, I'm just taking stock of everything right now. I eliminated, I know K442, I know L298 I just had. And I know B617 I had at the beginning. And then did I leave in, there was one I'm looking for here. I don't know what happened to it. Sorry. Almost there. One dimensional. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Advancing. P749 is the one I was thinking of. So, okay, that's this one right here. Okay. Now the one I was just having, that I said reminded me of that 8-year weeded stuff, it smells like Buffalo Trace product. Huh. Okay. I think I feel okay about moving that on. I don't think that's going to be top 5, maybe not even top 10. But I think that should move on. It's just different than the other stuff. All right, the tater in me tastes Buffalo Trace, and I'm like, I want to move it on. Okay. How we doing here? My chat froze. Let's see. Maybe 4 out. So I've got 3 out, 4 bubble, and the bubble stuff usually ends up going out. And all the Patreon tastings we've done so far, which is 2 or 3 at this point, generally the bubble stuff gets moved out. Here in this tasting, I'm not going to eliminate more than 11 because I'm going to whittle this thing down to 20 exactly. I have one more bottle to add. I'm kind of cheating and putting it directly into the top 20 finals, so it's going to be a top 21. However, 21st place on Sunday is just not going to get a ranking. It's just going to be called like an honorable mention or something. So that bottle is going to be the 21-year Preservation Believe bottle that they released at the end of 2025. That should get here Saturday. If it doesn't get here Saturday, it's just not going to get in the tasting, and then I'll just taste the 20 that I let through anyways. But I'm not eliminating more than 20. So I think it's important to put things on the bubble because then I can just go back and quickly find any of those that might be my favorites, move them on, put the rest over, and have my bottom 11 for today. Would have been pretty shocked if that didn't make it. Are you talking about the Believe 21 year? Because if it, like for me, I'm looking at that going, I know how much I liked last year's. I could, because it's so late in the game, I just got a text today from someone that was like, do you want me to run this up? You know, send this up to you. I'm like, can you get it here for Sunday's stream? It's like, let's find out. All right. Here's what I'm going to do real quick. I'm going to, yeah, we're basically halfway, I think, at this point. We're basically halfway. I'm gonna run upstairs, use the restroom very quickly. Sorry about that. I'll be right back. Hit the like button, please. And yeah, see you guys in a second. No, oh, what did that say? Was that a spoiler? Please no spoilers. No, the last one you tasted would have been shocked if that didn't make it. That's not a spoiler, but almost a spoiler. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. We lost 10 people, that's fine. They'll come back, maybe. Please remind me to keep drinking water. Although, done a good job. There's probably like, I don't know, 6 ounces of whiskey spat so far. Here we go. Next up, K625. Woo! C552, I landed on, yes, I landed on advancing, but take a second look if needed, because that one could move, you know. That one would be one of the first to go for me, I think. Broke the seal, now you're screwed. Nah, I'm good, I'm good. There shouldn't need to be a second bathroom break, I hope. Although 2 hours in, there might be another 90 minutes left, so we'll get close. All right, back to this. Would it be a spoiler if we made a guess for number 1? Well, don't make a guess. You know, anything is a spoiler if you talk about any of the bottles, because let's say you think whatever is the reason you're saying that because I just pulled this one, whatever this is that you think this might be my number 1, or you know what I mean? So any just talk of bottles, just shut it down. Just try to be very obscure, because like anything I read, I can't help but read into what you're saying, and I don't want to do that. I'm already in my mind like recognizing that some of these are Buffalo Trace products, and you can tell those things, but okay, on to K625. Need to write this down. K625. Let me see if I've been charging my mouse this whole time. I've been having to use, I have a system here. There we go. Oh, so much more natural. I like to have the mouse and the keypad, and the touchpad over here. K625. Okay. Sorry, just a few comparisons of things that I've advanced so far. That was N923 I just put it next to. Okay. K625. Very sour. Dane, do you ever get your Guitar Hero controller hooked up? No, apparently I bought the wrong one. I bought an Xbox 360 controller and it doesn't work with Macs. So I gotta buy a new one. Yeah, there you go, Slads. If you guys are in the Patreon, you can link your Discord to it, and then in our Discord server we have a Whiskey of the Year channel, and you could talk about it right now. I'm sure people are talking about stuff in there. Listen, some part of this I really like, and some part of this I despise. K625. It's super sour. It feels like there is a ton of age here. And oh, I don't know. I gotta just taste it. I'm confused by this. It's so split. It's 50-50 down the middle, love-hate with this one. It's more love than hate on the palate. Okay. There's a certain quality to this that reminds me of something that I'm not going to say. It's going to move on. I just don't know that that's going to be top 10. Whatever that is, but the nose I really dislike. Yeah, no part of me wants to smell the nose in this. It's kind of like a nutty, charcoaly, and when I say nutty, I really mean like almond, not peanut. Almond, charcoal, oak bomb nose. Oh, it's like chocolate-covered almonds. Chocolate-covered almonds. Charcoal oak bomb nose. Palate, much better than nose. Let me do one more sip of this. The palate's so much better than the nose. That's crazy. I'm going to advance that. Okay. Man, this is a lot of whiskey to taste. Holy crap. Cam, what were your thoughts on Bardstown Ferrand? I actually didn't taste the Ferrand this year. I'm not on the Bardstown media list. And I think I had the opportunity to buy it, but I was just like, you know, I don't know. The first Ferrand I thought was not very good, so... And then the Penelope, I heard this one was better, but I'm not just a big finished whiskey person. But I also think part of that is not that I'm not a big finished whiskey person, it's that I'm not a big modern finished whiskey person. Go back 6-7 years and finished whiskey was way better than it is today, I feel like. Penelope Omega, just wasn't a fan. Like all the Penelope stuff this year, I have the entire, whatever it's called, Founders or Estate Collection. Even the 16-year rye. It was just like yeasty. Didn't taste good. Slat, can you imagine? Okay, B428, this is the next one. Get the color on that. Okay, maybe not as dark as I thought. B428. Joe. Joe. B428. Almost like a half and half note on the nose. And if I didn't know any better, I'd say, oh, that's like a Maker's Dairy note, but I don't think any Maker's is in this round. It's super spicy. So let's write this down. Half and half. So like a creamy thing, a creamy sweetness. Very spicy. Crawls up nose. What the heck is this? B428? Okay, let's take a sip. It smells like a Green River product for some reason. I've said that about certain things, though, and I'm getting Green River confused a lot lately. This might be very dry. Okay. I gotta lock in on this whiskey. This one is confusing. Ashton, what's up, dude? Chateau de la Baude Batch 1. One of the best finished whiskeys of all time. I've also had some of Nancy's cigar blends that are just epic. What the heck is this? All right, I'm actually gonna take a sip of this one. Okay. A little aspartame-y. What are the notes though, you know? It's kind of, God, it's not, I don't want to say generic. It's kind of a generic profile. It's almost a little Buffalo Tracy also. No aged oak to like chew on in the finish. One more. Very spicy. Some people are gonna love this whiskey. It's just not for me. I think it's too dry. I think the sweetness is I'm talking half and half an aspartame. I don't like those things, you know? And when it's dry and it's overly spicy, I'm not getting a lot of fruit, I'm not getting a lot of aged oak or anything like that. God, I think it's out. All right, I'm gonna move it out. B428. Recognizing, again, there's an audience for that. And of the things I've moved out, I would say that that'd be the first one that if I had to consider moving something back up, that would be the one. Hedging out, could reconsider if needed. Okay, so B428. This next one is going to be Z001. Z001. Okay, let's get some water. Okay. Hey, Green River stuff's great. I wish a few things I bought last year tasted more like Green River. No, I'm not saying it's not good. But Green River I can confuse with Buffalo Trace sometimes. And Young Green River I can confuse for Young Heavenhill. Because Young Green River can be pretty nutty. Nancy has some prior Wyoming whiskey releases that are really, really good. I don't think I've ever tried any of that stuff. Maybe like once or twice. Yeah. Okay. All right. What are we getting on the nose? Z001. My buddies from work with the orchestra texting me. They're watching right now. Giving me shit. Aspartame, what on earth? I promise, dude. Fezza, come drink Pappy tomorrow night after the concert. Come over. Although, that probably got eliminated a long time ago. All right, Z001. Reminder, guys, it's scrolling along the bottom of the screen, but if you want to see the master list of what I'm tasting, it's in the description of the video. Please don't spoil it and put any answers in the live chat or anything. But you guys can find out as I'm tasting this. It's not just a blind where you don't know what's going on. All right, Z001. Solid color. Let me reset my nose. I feel like this is like really closed off. I just need to smell something that I know what it smells like. So let me go to, let's do this one, W327. Okay. That was like a really soft, balanced one. Yeah, this is just really closed off. I think after I get it on the palate, the nose will come alive. I don't know what's going on with this. Z001. It's so like standard caramel bread pudding, which is a note sometimes I'll say on some Buffalo Trace products. It's just kind of like that. It's like caramel drizzle, and it's very desserty. Caramel drizzle bread pudding. It's a soft proof, like. I feel like I'm going crazy right now. I think this, I mean, that's out. But what is that? All right, let's move on. J216. I'm just going to say, nose gave me nothing. Caramel drizzle and bread pudding dessert palette, but soft with nothing going on. So weird. This is a whiskey that needs context. I think if you see the label and you know what it is, then you taste it, you can kind of like put yourself, you know, in the shoes of the whiskey, I guess. But just in a blind flight, straight up like this, no idea what it is. I don't know. That just didn't perform well at all. Okay. I'm gonna say super out. J216. Let's go to this one. Okay. All right, how's chat doing? Nancy has some Wyoming. So batch 58 of Magnus Cigar Blend, nicknamed Darth Vader. Oh yeah, that's a great batch. I have like this much of mine left. Oh, they're drinking. My buddies are drinking. The Hard Truth pick. Underrated pick. I can't wait to go back to Hard Truth and do another one. Tastes like caramel apples. Okay. Anyways. Back to this. Okay. Nose on J216. I'm still so hung up on this. Z001. I don't know what the heck. J216. Enveloping nose. I'm just gonna taste this. It has a little Jack Daniels-y kind of vibe to it for me. That was disgusting. Hey. All right, what are we doing? What are we doing with J216? I just got a picture of the hard truth pick and then a bottle of Advil. That's good. That's good. We all have a dress rehearsal in 12 hours, so. Okay, J216. Small sip here. Yeah, it's moving on. Not perfect, but very good. Very, very good. It's just like, that is like silky, sweet, aged oak. Like it's not over oaked. I have no idea what that is. Silky, sweet, aged oak. There's some bitterness. I think it works for now. Yeah, that's gonna move on, I think. Let's keep going. Q270. That is a hell of a color. What on earth is this? Whew, that is a hot whiskey. I'll tell you what. I crushed 3 bottles of your last hard truth pick. So good. Yeah, it was kind of an underdog pick. I mean, it definitely to me tastes like a 5.5-year whiskey, if you know what it is. But I had it blind one time, and I thought it was something completely different. So very shocked how it performed blind. But yeah, I can't wait to go back there and get some more of that stuff. Okay. This may be one of the most different noses so far. Q270. There's almost like a crafty element here. So it's kind of like, it kind of has like a pot still note. So pot still, think a little thicker, think like, yeah, a thicker whiskey that has some kind of like soil, combination of like soil and raisin and chocolate. Like it kind of has all of that on the nose. I don't know. Huh. I have no idea what this would be. It's so pot still though for me on the nose. And it smells intense. Let's do a sip. Oh, wow. Oh, I know what that is. The palate gave it away. Okay, Woodford Chocolate Whisper. You guys were right. It stood out like a sore thumb. It is bitter. And actually, you know what it has? It has an herbal bitterness to it, and that is the thing that's turning me off. And I actually don't know if I've noticed that before. It's gone in the finish, but like all through the palate, you have this coffee bitterness to it. And I love coffee bitterness, but then you add in like marijuana, like it literally has that marijuana taste to it, and that has a bitterness. It's very kind of like sappy and hoppy and resinous. That I don't like. So it drinks, it's like a firestorm. I mean, it's crazy. The nose is weird. Coming off of all this stuff, I can smell the pot still. I'm just making a guess that that's what this is. Even if it's not, that's fine, but I don't know anything else that would smell and taste like this. What do you do with this, you know? Because it is a cool whiskey. going to put it on the bubble. The problem is, I know what it is when I taste that. There's no way to not know what that is. What is it? Q270? Let's just write this down. Pot still. Strange nose. Raisin, soil, chocolate. Palate explodes, super dry, and coffee bitter with chocolate and a marijuana bitterness through the palate that fades in the finish. Excuse me. Yeah. That's not a whiskey that blinds well. That's never going to blind well compared to stuff like this. I don't think. Okay. Oh, I'm starting to hit a wall, tasting wise. 100%. This is. I gotta be careful on the rest of these. It's not even like saturation level. It's just. It's a weird. Like Matt Porter, when he did his 40 blind and he spit everything, he breathalyzed at the end of it and he blew 0.00 and he still felt drunk. And that's what I have right now. It's like I feel intoxicated and I've barely sipped whiskey today. I have a little small sips here and there. It's a very strange thing that this does to you. And it's, I don't know, if you haven't tried this, guys, I'm not encouraging you to do something stupid, but set up a big blind for yourself, spit everything, which is a completely different experience than sipping it, and then see the toll it takes on you, because it is unique. Time for energy drinks. Even though do you like it? I like it in isolation. Compared to all this other stuff, it doesn't hold a candle to it, unfortunately. Smoke a J. No, I can't do that. I would be in the fetal position on the floor. How do you know what marijuana tastes like? Well, tastes like it's when you smoke it, you know? I haven't done that in probably a decade, actually, at this point. Okay. Small break. Chug some water. Damn, you were smoking when you were 12? I hate you guys so much. Where's RJ? Heard voice chat got wild the other night. I don't know where he is. Your mouth is the window to your body. It has absorption capability. No, it does, Wayne, but when Matt did his blind of 40 whiskeys, whenever that was, and then he, at the end of it, like, he blew into a breathalyzer and blew zeros. So if it did absorb, it wasn't in the way of that, I guess, like, of blood alcohol content. Maybe there's some other effect it's having on you, but it's just weird. What's up, Jay? All right, let's keep going. R078 is next. Here's a deal. Fred Minnick doing 100 of these. No, he must feel terrible at the end of that. I can't even imagine. All right, this feels R078. Kind of weak on the nose. We'll see. I'll say weaker nose. It's got a lot of like fresh, like orchard fruit. It's just kind of apples and pears and maybe a little peachy kind of thing. Fresh fruit. Okay. It's all Mars, man. It bypasses the gut. That's what the breathalyzer relays. Really? So, Wayne. So, is it past? It's 10:03. Drums and drams, late night drums and drams, we're good. So, Wayne, is that true? Because if that's true, so if you butt chugged whiskey, you wouldn't blow like a blood alcohol content above zeros or what? This is an essential question. Huh. Well, I'll be damned. So it does. So you do absorb it then. I mean, I know that your gums absorb things, obviously when you're dipping and stuff like that. Yeah, this is R078, guys. Not true. What comes out of your lungs is aerosolized from your blood. Did this dude just say butt chug? Yeah, dude, come on. That scene, what's the scene, the John Cena movie? Cock blockers? When they pour it into the funnel. Oh, it's funny. Well, the more you know, I guess. So that means I do need to slow down for sure then. If it's if it is still being absorbed in my gums. All right, R078. It's reading what's coming from your lungs, right? I don't know, guys. You guys figure this out in the chat for me, please. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Another sip. I think this might get eliminated. This is a bubble whiskey. Okay, let's just write this on the bubble. It's got an intense palate. Lots of tannin. It's on the bubble, but high on the bubble. Let's say that, because like this could probably get in. It's a little bit I don't know, compared to some of these others, it's a little nondescript because others have so much personality to them. Also, my palate is a little weaker now, but I think it's a good whiskey. Yeah, no, Joe, there is to me, I am kind of writing upper and lower bubble in my notes. So I feel like it'll be kind of easy to narrow this down as to, like once we get to the end, I think it'll be easy. Chat GPT could settle this debate. Yeah, someone look it up. Are we all just speculating in the chat, or has anybody Googled it? If I sip and spit whiskey, will I get drunk but still blow 0.00 BAC? Interesting. I don't know. Someone else go through this and collect all the data and let me know what we've decided on. All right. X705 is next. Cam, Google. X705 is next. Oh dear. I can already say this is going to move on. Yeah, one sip. I mean, it smells dusty. I don't know what it is, but it smells dusty. It's butterscotch. It is like fluffy cake. All right. It's also kind of grassy. I'll let it go though. Michter's 20. That's got to be Michter's 20. It doesn't matter. It's moving on, so we can mission accomplished on that one. And I'm telling you, the bitterness is building. E820 is next. Do you do barrel picks? Yeah, we do a lot of barrel picks. That was Taco Beast asked that. Yeah, so we've probably done, I don't know, someone could look on the, we have a spreadsheet that we've shared in the Patreon group. Probably 70 barrel picks, 75 barrel picks maybe at this point. Field testing is needed. ChatGPT is unsure, says Chase. ChatGPT is going to make up an answer. Okay. E820. Wow. Wow, what is that? Ooh, what is that? Very nice nose. Tinge of sour oak on a backdrop of just classic, slightly nutty, rich Kentucky oak. It's a little redundant, but it's like a little sour quality on top of just this bedrock of richness and sweetness coming from what feels to me like a 15 to 20 year Kentucky bourbon. Proof down. Like it feels like it has water added. And if that's the case, let's say it does, adding water can open up some of that sweetness. The oak and the sweetness feel a little bit more like spread out. It's almost like imagine eating a bite of, like you have toast and you have butter and you're going to put butter on the toast and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to put the entire square of butter in this one bite and eat it. Sometimes that's what barrel proof, really oaky whiskey tastes like. If you put water in it and you break everything apart, it's like melting the butter and spreading it across the entire piece of toast and then eating it, and it's a little bit more of a balanced experience. Does that make sense? Now, if you put too much water in a very oaky, high-aged whiskey, then it's almost like you diluted your butter and then melted it into water and tried to like put that on the bread, and then you're like, I'm tasting like watery buttered bread, you know? I mean, this smells great. E820. Easy. Moving on. Oaky as shit in the finish. Definitely moving on. Okay, I367 is next. Not so sure about this one. This is very sharp on the nose. Joe said, Joe, is that the real? That's not the real number, right? To buy one of every pick? There's no way that's the number. It's not that high. Okay. Yeah, I367. I don't know about this one. This has like a stale bread note on the nose. Stale bread / toast. Like it's kind of in between that. Brown sugar. I don't get a lot of fruit here. Any on nose. Okay, let's taste this. All right. I don't exactly know what's going on here with I367. Please tell me that's not the number. Oh, 67, is that why? All right, there you go, Paul. Paul with the good info here on the absorption. Why do I not like this? I367. All right, it's starting to like, I'm starting to get somewhere with it, but man, in the beginning, I could not figure this out. I think it's very ethanol forward. I'm gonna, oh man, I got 7 left. I'm gonna take a small sip of this. It's hot. It's really hot. Kind of charcoaly a little bit. I don't know. Listen, I probably need to advance it because I'm actually starting to fill up here. It'll probably get advanced into the finals, but it's one that's not going to make my top 10, I don't think. I367. That's what we'll do. We'll advance it. I have enough in the bubble already. 7 more to go. I'm going to take a note on that. I mean, the finish is kind of good. It's kind of industrial tasting. Industrial charcoal palette that feels intense and oaky but dry, and finish is the best part, demonstrating good age. Yeah. Advancing, but probably not top 10. All right, we'll keep going. So these are advancing here. These are bubble. Those are out. The oral mucosa is relatively impermeable to alcohol, limiting significant absorption. Sweet. Message retracted. 5 likes and I'll make a picture of Cam show up when you ask ChatGPT about butt chugging. God, no. All right. I think whatever reaction my body was having, I'm still kind of there from just tasting so many, but I think I just went over a hump of like, okay, I'm starting to feel a little bit better now. For a second there, I was like, I might have to stop. I mean, you just start feeling gnarly. Okay, C787. Ooh. Very different than everything else. Not the typical oak bomb. Sounds like you need to eat a pizza. Dude, my heartburn, I would never sleep tonight. How many left? I have 7 more left. and then decisions to make here amongst these. Okay. I mean, how do you, so C787, you guys can see what this is. With a nose like this, it's so different than everything else. Super different. I'm gonna put that down. I'm gonna say buttercream. Okay, I know what this is then. Buttercream rye on nose. Slight dill, some herbs, and sweet lemon cream, maybe something like that. Let's taste it. I continue to think, if this is what I think it is, I just think this is really good whiskey. Let me put it next to another bubble. I'll pull a random sample from the bubble here. Again, it's so different, but oh, that was the Woodford chocolate Redux. Why did I do that? Oh, not a good pairing. All right, clear my palate after that. Look at all the breathalyzer talk. I love it. Okay, back to this 787. I think it's a bubble whiskey. I love it. I really, really love this whiskey. It's a bubble whiskey. Okay, next. C, is that C414? No, U414. I'm pretty sure. U414. Okay. I gotta give my palate a second. We're closing in on the end. 6 more. How far? 2 hours and 45 minutes. All right, pretty good. Doing pretty good. So what do you think, guys? Like, this format, is it entertaining to some degree? Is it fun to, normally I think the live streams, at least on this channel, I try to keep the live streams fast paced and tasting a lot of stuff and talking and whatever. And being quick with the chat. Is this an enjoyable format for like end of the year stuff? Because I think I've learned a lot this year about how to do this better for next year. And I'm not going to do all the like preliminary tasting rounds that I just did over the last couple weeks on Patreon and by myself at home. I'm just going to make sure I stay on top of giving ratings for stuff, even if those ratings don't appear in videos, because I think I can trust my ratings enough now that I can just basically pull my top 30 out of a given year. As long as I've tasted everything and rated it, I can pull my top 30 and say, we're just gonna take this 30 down to 20, and we're gonna order the 20 or order the 10, however we end up doing it. And I trust myself on that because I went back and looked at how everything performed in the prelims and the semifinals on the play-in rounds to get here. and almost everything aligned with the ratings that I gave them, with a few surprises, you know, but very few of those surprises realistically. So I think I can trust my rating system as long as it's up to date. The problem this year is that I didn't have everything rated. So then I had a bunch of stuff that I knew I liked, hadn't rated it, like WLW, like Pappy 15 or whatever, and I just threw them in this final. So anyways. Dude, I'm getting trolled in my text messages right now from my esteemed colleagues at work who are definitely not consuming too much Hard Truth Rye whiskey right now. Sam, it's definitely long. It's definitely long. But dude, you have to take time between tasting this stuff when you're doing this many. Is Adam here? I don't know. Okay, all right. Next up, U414. Whoa. Wow. The nose on this is freaking awesome. Wow. Wow. Okay. Palate time. Ooh, I'm excited for this. It does not feel high proof at all, but it smells great. Wow. It's so soft. Oh, it's good. Oh, it's how do you reconcile this? It's so soft, but the profile is great. I mean, I think I have to advance this. Goodness gracious. I'm advancing that. I don't know. Incredible nose. Palate super soft. Profile hits. It is like peach cobbler. And so much sweet oak and honey. Peach cobbler. Gobs of sweet oak and honey. Wish it was higher proof, but still deserves a shot in the final tasting. Man. The palate does not live up to probably any of the other palates in the advanced section so far, but just the profile, man. So, and okay, let me say this. Advancing, but could take a second look. I'll put a little hedge at the end. D717 is next. Fairly light color on this. Okay. Wow. Slide. Keep a few spots for Patreon voted play-in bottles next year. I only say that for normal viewers. Patreon's here for 3. Yeah, Sam, for sure. I mean, but we've had 200 people in here almost the entire time. I mean, I started early. Always expect less people at 7:30, but I mean, we've kept a pretty good number in here, so it's not the most exciting content for sure, but I think because it has a purpose, people are invested and they want to watch. And I think the next one will be even more so, just considering that will be the rating. Yeah, D717. I don't know what this is. don't know what's going on here. It's not saying much, you know? I feel like I'm getting... I feel like it's a lot of pear notes. Lots of fresh pear. I'll put a question mark. There's some buttercream element here too. Buttercream or icing. This feels very out of place in this flight. I mean, I think I've got to pass on that for sure. D717. Nix it onto the next. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Okay, so up next will be M636. D717. I mean, that was weird. All right, M636. Really dark. Yeah, really dark color. More like denied 717. There's not, I mean, there was another one, I think Z001. No, I mean, yeah, I feel good about being, you know, so firmly against that whiskey, making it into the fight. It's not a bad whiskey. I think in isolation, I would need to taste it not next to these, but in this setting, no way. Okay, M636. Intensely oaky, like rubbery, intensely oaky, rubbery, possibly double oaked sort of nose. See you, Fezza. Thanks, guys. Ben and Fezza. Get some sleep, guys. I'll see you in the morning. Or don't get some sleep. Okay. Was it Z001? The one I was... Yeah, nose gave me nothing. Z001. Nose gave me nothing. I get something now. I mean, I get more now, but I don't know. Okay, M636. M636, that's what I sounded like. M636. I am not as drunk as I just sounded 10 seconds ago. I promise. Yeah, I think that really encapsulates it. It has like that very, very cooked down oak note. Like you put this in a shipping container and cooked it for a summer, which turns into a somewhat sour oak nose, but with the addition of that rubberiness, so it feels double oak to me. Excuse me. Good Lord. I hope you can't hear all that. I've got some leftovers waiting for me after this stream. I just got to get there. All right. What's going on here? This is like, it's like maple syrup. It's like French toast and maple syrup. Yeah. French toast, maple syrup, brown sugar, cinnamon toast crunch, but not in an Amburana way, still in a kind of double oaked way, but more natural than Amburana. So what am I gonna write about this? French toast, maple syrup, but it feels forced. I said Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Feels forced though. All right, let me take a small sip. Nutty. Wow, okay. Kind of a short finish. With the spice. The flavor hangs on, the oakiness hangs on. Some tannin, not too dry, which is good. Actually, very well balanced with the tannin. We can advance that. Shorter spice in finish, but long oak in finish. Tannin is balanced. Feels, I'm gonna say feels well blended. Even if the profile leans 25% too much into that double oaked rubbery feel. Let's advance it, yeah. Three more. Look at the color on that. V146 is next. Gosh, okay. I'm gonna take the final three. Put them side by side and let you, I mean, you guys probably, by process of elimination, can kind of see what the, well, you're just looking at the list. So I have F632, R678, and V146. I'll say out loud which one is which as I'm tasting them. But I'm gonna do them side by side because when I smelled V146 a second ago, it was just running together with everything else. So maybe the side by side will help kind of illuminate the differences between them. All right, so I'm actually gonna start with F632. Okay. R678. Not quite as good, for me at least. And then V146. All right, so F and V, definitely like these better than R678. It doesn't matter, side by side. I mean, they still all three could move on. I have 6 that I've kicked out so far, so I technically need to kick out 5 more to get down to what I want to get down to tonight. Copper and King, says Noah. It's probably MGP. I think a lot of their stuff's MGP, but just look at state of distillation on the back. All right, F632. Gosh, guys, I might have to go to the bathroom again. You guys were right. Seal was broken. How long ago? Like an hour ago, hour and a half ago, something like that? All right. Quick bathroom break. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me finish off this water. Oh, 15-year Kentucky. 15-year Kentucky, huh? Oh, the copper and sorry, I was thinking copper and cask. It's either Barton or Heavenhill. All right, I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. All right. We're so close. We're so close. Grand finale. All right. F632. Smells awesome. I mean, really, really smells great. Okay, so I'm going to say this. F632. Man, one of my favorite noses, I think, so far. Only lost 11 viewers. There we go. Perhaps a catheter for Sunday. It would be great if I had a bathroom down here in the basement, but it's an unfinished basement. There's a rough in right here, but that would be literally like 8 feet right there. There's a bathroom rough in. So that would maybe not be so good. Convenient, but I'd have to mute the stream. F6V2 is just fantastic nose. So full of aged, of antique, I'm gonna say antique oak on F632. I'll have to taste it and see, but Joe, you're gonna be pissing in the sump pump by March. Sump pump's right there. That's close by too. All right. Okay. I gotta do a real sip of this. My problem with this is the overall drinking experience. Like even in the mid palate, it starts to fall off very, very fast for F632. So much oak. I love the profile. Man, I want to advance it just out of principle for me because I love this kind of whiskey, but I just don't think it drinks that well. Let me come back to it in just a second. Let me move on now to R678. Okay, R678 is brown sugar all day. Brown sugar monster on nose. I would say it crawls up nose, somewhat brighter toned in some ways. Maybe some sourness here too. Maybe a little sourness coming from the oak profile. Okay, let's see. Like there's not a lot of sweetness here. Maybe instead of saying that, maybe a little sourness coming from the oak profile. Overall, just not a particularly sweet whiskey on the nose. Let's just say that. Okay, R678 on the palate. Wow. Wow, big palate on this. Super spicy. Massive drinking experience. Super spicy. Wow. Probably has to move on. Not sure how it's gonna do. Like, I feel like my favorites were obvious in here. A423 probably being one of the top. There was another one that had this amazing nose earlier, but all right, little sip of this one. R678. Wow. Drinks like turkey. I don't know if it is, but it has that spice, that brighter turkey spice. I think that moves on. Advances, okay. Now, V146. Then we'll go back to F632 and then kind of take a look at where we're at. Yeah, this is a little softer on the nose. Need to reset. Get some water here. What's up, Lido? Piss bottles. They did the trick on convoys from Kuwait to Iraq. Oh, thanks for your service, dude. Lido's the man. OG. Amy, what's up? Amy, sorry, I didn't say hello. That might have been when I was peeing, and then I just didn't really pay attention to chat. Cheers, crew. Happy New Year to you all. Good to see you, Amy. Okay. V146. My faculties are waning. This kind of smells like German chocolate cake. with like blueberry, like some sort of like blueberry drizzle or something. But it's not strong on the nose. German chocolate cake with blueberry drizzle. Not super strong on nose. Let's go to the palate. Huh. No clue what that would be. Not even. Wow, vanilla cream on the finish, though. Gotta take a real sip of that. Balanced drinking experience. Vanilla cream and finish, which I'm gonna write, which I love. Again, this is V146. This is similar to something else. The one I advanced earlier and I was like, it's super low proof. This isn't that low of proof. Oh man. Oh man, that's totally in. So that's advancing. Wow, the palate on that one, from between spitting and swallowing, changed a lot. Wow. F632. I said this had a lot of antique oak. It's kind of changing for me now. Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna throw this spit cup out. All right, so that last one, coming off of V146, which I didn't love the nose, like it just felt really weak, and then I got it on the palate and I loved it. Coming back then to F632, the nose here feels a little bright, a little, not young, but just bright and spicy. So earlier I said fantastic nose at the start of this little three-way side by side. I said fantastic nose, so full of antique oak. Now after coming back around to it, I'm gonna say nose gets a little brighter and spicier after returning from R678 and especially V146. Now, the best part of this whiskey to me, F632, you guys are killing me in the chat. F632, the best part is the finish. Yeah. I'm gonna do one real sip of this one too. There's a little turkey funk aspect to this in the finish. I think that's why I like it. I found that earlier on something where I was like, oh man, I'm getting kind of turkey funk on the back end. Let me taste this. I think that's advancing too. So, we now have to go through and eliminate out of the bubble list 5 of these. And there are only 7 here. So, let me go back now through with the bubble stuff and see which ones I said were at the top of the bubble. So, C787. Actually, I'll just smell them all first real quick, see if anything stands out, and then I can look at the notes. Okay. Okay. Okay, so assuming that Q270 is chocolate whisper Redux from Woodford, I'd probably eliminate this, you know. But a good step in you know the right direction for Woodford. So F222, the nose, after coming back to it now, the nose is great. Let me see what I said about it. Buffalo Trace sweetness, super soft nose. It's not actually as soft right now as earlier, but I know earlier, I think there was let me see. I felt like there were a bunch of high proofers. No, not really leading into that one. W327 felt lower proof. K442 was low proof. Had to be. I eliminated it because it was soft. So, I don't know. F222. It is really soft. Okay. 787. R078. What did I say about R078? There's something about this on the nose that feels kind of youthful and forced. I could re-pour these. Let's see if I can get it done without it, though. Instead of finding 5 to eliminate, I need to find 2 that are going to move on, and that's the way that you know that I can do it. Y519. Okay, I love the nose. Didn't love the palate so much on this. Let's see. Y519. I liked it earlier. I like it now. Okay. Okay. P749. It's just, this is sour on the nose. I don't like the nose of this. It's a massive palette. And I feel like I need to give it its due. I'm going to re-pour that. So P749. I'm going to re-pour. Here it is. I'm going to re-pour Y519. Nope. Where are we at? Come on. Is it this? Nope. Y519, where are you? There it is. Okay. 749, Y519. Just kind of refresh the glass. Let me see what H701 was. Oh, okay. We can eliminate H701. Ooh. R078, I think I already said this, but let me look at my notes again. Yeah. It's that one. Okay. I think R078 is probably going to be eliminated. I'm going to re-pour just a little bit. Actually, it's over here. That was over here. Now I have two others here. 787, C787, and F222. I like F222 on the nose better. Little water. All right, Y519 is moving on. And only one other of these can move on. Okay, last one. All right, best nose, F222, but that does not translate to the palate. Second best nose, R078. It's very fresh fruit, and that's what I said about it. I said apples, pears, peaches, fresh fruit, intense palate, lots of tannin. Let's see. I said high on the bubble. Maybe that should count for something here. What I say about P479? What did I say about that one? Or 749, sorry. I just said bubble. I didn't say high on the bubble. Okay. So I'm going to taste R078. Now I'm going to taste C787. Which is not winning on the nose here, I don't think. So if it doesn't win on the palate, it's out. No, it's out. C787 is out. Okay. So now we have three very different proof points, seemingly. F222 seems very low. P749 seems extremely high. And R078 seems kind of like it's in the middle. So these three are fighting for the final spot in the top 20. F222 to start. It's so good. I just think it's too soft, probably. What was the other one earlier? I advanced the one that was really soft. U414. Here. So let me put this next to U414. Because these both have the same issue. Need a little bit more F222. Where are we at? F222. Come on, please. Oh, wait. Was there also an O222? Yeah, there was. Okay. That's weird. Of all the numbers to pick a second time. All right, F222, where the hell are you? I actually can't find it here. Oh, okay. F222. Next to U414, which again, both had the same kind of description and issue. What's up, Mike? Thanks, bro. Sorry, the end of this is getting tedious, but I have to pick one of these three. All right, this is F222, U414. Wow, F222 is actually even more present on the nose. But U414 has more of like a dusty quality to it, whereas F222 feels like more modern, highly aged, low-proof whiskey. Very good. Let's taste U414 one more time, just to make sure I'm making the right decision between these two because they're very similar. Yeah, I am. F222 is out. Yep. Man. I'm between P749 and R078. P749, R078. R078 really has like a Brown Forman thing. P749, dude, it's so hot. There's so much ethanol here. I don't know that I can advance this. I can't advance that. It's the same thing as GTS this year. It's too hot. So I think R078 is the call, unless I should have done F222. So which one is the more complete whiskey? R078 or F222? Gosh, I hate eliminating things because they're ethanol forward. It just sucks. It's like the whiskey underneath that I can tell is good. GTS, you can tell underneath it is good. Then you froth it, you add water, it does get better. But as that stands, it's just, the power is great, and that's it. Okay, R078, F222. R078. Very sour. Lots of fresh fruit. Brown Foreman sweet chocolate. Okay. Oak on the finish. I mean, this is just so sweet. F222. It's so weak, F222, compared to that. And we're really down to it now, you know? Oh man, AirPod died. Hang on. Okay, there we go. Is the music not playing still? Let's see. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I feel like we're down to this point now where obviously both of these are not going to win Whiskey of the Year, right? They're not going to be top 10. It's just like which one, I don't know, which one represents, I guess, I don't know. Does it really even matter if they're going to end up 20th? Like, is there something I'm missing in the pile of stuff that I've eliminated compared to these, you know? All right, R078 wins. There you go. That's the top 20. 10, 13, 16, 20. Yep. All right, let's see what didn't make it. Actually, to do this, guys, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can reveal everything right now. I won't reveal everything necessarily. I'm just going to reveal the losers. That will let me know what the winners are, but I'm not going to look at their actual numbers of the winners. Okay, so let's see. Let's go through the losers. I'm going to start over here and work my way this way. So probably kind of like the easiest losers to this one, which is really tough. Let's start with Z001. Let me pull up, I need to find the description of the video. So, okay, let me refresh this. Where is it at? Nope, not there. Here, okay. I'm gonna zoom in. All right, Z001, okay. So Peter E. Hart, 8 year. This is the one that I said, nose gave me nothing. Nose gave me nothing. Caramel drizzle and bread pudding dessert palette. But soft with nothing going on. Super out. I get a little bit more now. There's a little like dirty, like a dirty cola thing on the nose. I give this a huge rating this year. It's like 93 or something. In a blind tasting I did. Maybe my palate was just weird that day. Okay. I don't know why that was eliminated so quickly. I agree with it being out, but weird. Okay. L298. Is that right? L298? L298. Barrel Foolproof. Eliminated. Not terribly surprising, but I thought this might have been a dark horse, possibly. I said very different than the... I remember this now. Very different than the others. It had a good oaky finish, and the palate was great. I liked it. I felt like it was a good blend. I assumed it was a blend. I said it gets a little sawdusty with a second sip. It's out, but very good. All right. Barrel Foolproof. And I smell it now. I smell that like sawdusty, younger Heavenhill almost on the nose. It's kind of what it reminds me of. Next, B617. This is the very first thing I tasted. I killed it right away. I said medium oak presence, dried apricot, fig. Not super old feeling, no funk, anything, maybe dark honey. Like, I was so confused by this because it didn't taste special, and I'm like, there are so many special whiskeys here. Am I stupid? B617, what is it? Let's see. New Riff 10-year rye. That's fine. Listen, good on them. It's a good rye. Doesn't belong here. Not with these. K442. Whoa. Why did I do... What? Earthy, outdoorsy oak. It smells great. Fall... I said this was probably old MGP. Graphite, blackcurrant, blackberry smells soft. Black tea in the finish. Too soft, but very good. Had to kill it because it was too soft. Yeah. K442, what are you? Redemption 18 year. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. B428. B428. Let me find where that was. I said half and half nose. Yeah, I remember this. Half and half nose. Very spicy, crawls up nose, generic profile, aspartame sweetness. Out, but I could reconsider if needed. Yeah, it's kind of weird. All right. What the heck is that? B428. Oh, Mr. Sam Batch 4. Okay. I will never buy another one of those. Jesus. I will never, ever buy another Mr. Sam. Batch 1 and 2 I thought were really good. Never again. On secondary. SRP, fine. Secondary, no. All right, D717. Where are you at? D717. Okay. I said, lots of fresh pear, question mark. Buttercream or icing, question mark. Pass, out of place. Smells like Buffalo Trace now. And I don't want to say it. It does kind of smell still out of place. But not as bad maybe as I made it out to be. So here we go. D717. Pappy Van Winkle 15. Okay. Well, not going to buy that again. Q270. Pot stills. Oh, this was the Woodford chocolate. It has to be, right? Q270. Yeah, okay, it is. Chocolate Whisper Redux. That's out. Cool whiskey. Style points. C787. No, let's do H701 next. H701. Where is this? Fairly hot on the nose. Ethanol. Oh. This had that like crafty lemon lime thing. Rye forward, very dry. I think I probably know what this is. This is probably that NBC rye. So H701. Where's it at? NBC Rye. 10-year Blaum collab. Okay. So 3 left in the out category. So C787. Where's this at? Oh, here it is. Super different. Buttercream rye. Yeah, this has to be the K-Luke. Slight dill, some herbs, sweet lemon cream. It's on the bubble, medium to high. Yeah, it's got to be K-Luke. C787. K-Luke Toasted Rye Batch 5. Listen, for a K-Luke product, at this point to basically be like number 25 of the year, pretty fucking good. So hats off to K-Luke for that. P749. Super hot. What is P749? Let's see what did I say about it? Sour oaky nose, heavy chocolate, Hershey's syrup on palate, almost a rye character to the drinking experience, sharp and sour, but with an otherwise very good profile. It's on the bubble. It's so hot. P749 is Jack Tanyard Rye. I didn't love my barrel. That sucks. Jack Tanyard Rye, basically coming in at like somewhere between 25 and 21 of the year. F222 smells like Buffalo Trace. I said super soft nose, funnel cake, cherry brandy, slight medicinal. I could house a bottle of this. It's on the bubble. F222 is Eagle Rare 17, and that makes sense too. Okay, so that means in the top 20, plus the addition of the Believe 21 year on Sunday, Calumet Farm 18, Jack 14, Knob 21, Blade and Bow. I actually did not recognize the Blade and Bow here on the nose and on the palate. So that's crazy. Blade and Bow, WLW, Michter's 20. I feel like I thought I knew which one that was. V146 was Rathskeller, so Rathskeller's in. Jack 12 made it through. Beacon made it through. Camp Nelson E made it through. Pappy 23 made it through. William Heavenhill 19. Cathedral made it through. PFG made it through. I feel like I knew which one PFG was. I felt like. Lineage made it through. Calumet 17 made it through too. That's crazy. Russell's 13 made it through. Four Roses Black Friday made it through. That's actually surprising to me. And King of Kentucky made it through. So that's my top 20 so far. Not ordered. I used a 141.9 Tanyard. It was too hot. I didn't like that barrel. It was just too hot. Jeremy says, wish I enjoyed the K-Luke as much as you did. I like it, man. I really do. Not enough for top 20, but top 25, sure. Tanyards are that tip. I don't know. I have a bunch of samples. I need to do a video of all these Tanyards side by side. That's actually like one of the first things I'm going to do when I get back to making videos instead of taking care of all this Whiskey of the Year stuff. But from what I understand, they're pretty different. But I have like a 145 media sample, not sent to me. I have a couple 130 different proofs, something like that. So, what do you guys think? I mean, I feel like this is not that surprising. The Mr. Sam, like I wish Mr. Sam would have performed better. K. Luke, I mean, K. Luke getting this far for me was crazy, but it kept, like, it won the prelims and the semis to get here. New Riff 10-year rye. A little surprising that did not do so well. Redemption 18, I would have thought would have been kicked out. Peter E. Hart, that makes sense. Like, this kind of tracks with my thoughts tasting these unblind. Barrel Foolproof is maybe the most surprising. I really like that bottle. Russell's 13. No, you're right. Russell's 13 making it through. As far as things making it through, that is maybe the most surprising one for me. That is totally right. I was thinking about things I kicked out, but things making it through, Russell's 13. Which one was that? 022. Oh, here. See, like, now I know. And these letters and numbers are going to be different next time. All right, so there's Russell's 13. Now, which one was Camp Nelson E? That is actually a little shocking that made it through. But Camp Nelson E is which one? N, not, oh, this was like the second one I tasted, right? I loved it. I loved this. Oh, yeah. So that beats the shit out of Russell's 13. But the Russells made it, so weird. I said on 0222, Oak Bomb nose. Really? But the more I smell, the more the top layer gets lifted, brighter, and spicier. This makes sense. Perhaps a citrus tropical accent on the nose. Mandarin pineapple. Great palate experience. Pungent turkey funk on finish, but each sip gets a bit spicier and brighter. Good, great complexity. Moving on. Okay, that kind of described Russell's 13 to me this year. Interesting. But Camp Nelson E blew it out of the water. When I tasted it, I said dark, unctuous nose, plums, raisins, dusty chocolate powder, aged oak, very balanced, great profile, super dark and rich, absolutely top 20 whiskey, more complex than Y519, which was something that made it through. More complex than Y519, which is what? Jack 12. Yeah. Okay. Chase says, everyone shitted on this year's Russell's 13 a little too much in my opinion. It's not whiskey of the year, but a great dram. I think for me, knowing that I put it in here and it won last round too and made it through, for me, I think it's just, we know what the first three batches were like, and then 4 and 5 were fine. But the first three batches, just epic whiskey. And then you get 6, and it's like, it's so hard to not compare batch 6 to batches 1 through 3, knowing that it has the same, the same expression title on it, Russell's 13, even if it's mostly 13, 14 and not 19, 20 in the blend. So, yeah, I think probably we were all extra hard on Russell's 13, especially the people like me that bitched about it and said this is not as good. And I don't think, frankly, it's as good, but I still think it's top 20 whiskey. I mean, judging by this. So, Three Turkeys. Oh, yeah, Beacon made it through. So what did I say about Beacon? And I'm going to, the numbers are all going to change on this, so these are not going to remain the same, so I'm not going to know what's what next time. Beacon F632. Here. Ooh, I drank a lot of this. What did I say about F632? Oh, at the very end. I said fantastic nose, so full of antique oak, and then I tasted the other two. And then I said nose gets a little brighter and spicier after returning from R678. Okay, that makes sense. especially after tasting V146, which I also advanced, but I still advanced F632. It's funny, yeah. It's so funny to go back and like re-experience this now. Jack 12 batch 3 over Tanyard will surprise some. Also seemed like Jack 12 over 14 profile wise, but that's probably more expected. Yeah, I haven't looked at which one was Jack 14, but honestly, man, my Tanyard barrel was not good. I just don't think it's good. I've said that since I tasted it. I cracked it, tasted it. I was like, no. All the way through this blind tasting, I don't feel bad about excluding Tanyard based on that single barrel. If I had a different one, I would, you know, I'd put that in here too, but Jack 12 over 14 for me, that's, yeah, huh. But 14 also lost a big blind I did whenever it came out. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Thank you for hanging out tonight. Sunday, I think we're going to target 5 p.m. Sunday. 5 p.m. Sunday. It's going to be a long-ass stream trying to order this stuff. And I'm going to spit, but I'm also going to start drinking to get through this and really try to give these a fair shot. So I hope I'm not a complete disaster at the end of Sunday's stream, but I can sleep in Monday because I don't have work. So, Slat, have fun at work tomorrow. I have 10 and a half hours. 10 and a half hours till I have to be playing notes appropriately. So if I wake up in 8 hours, we'll be good. I think we'll be good. All right. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Hit the like on your way out. Check out the Patreon. $5-10 a month. Join there. Barrel picks. All that kind of good stuff. And I'll hang out in Discord a little bit tonight. Otherwise, I have to clean up and get ready for the dress rehearsal tomorrow. So, cheers.